What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the den. And I'm your host, Ed Honcho. And for me, it is an honor. It is a pleasure, a pleasure, and a privilege to get to chop it up with you wonderful people each and every night. And I got one question before we get started. And I want legitimate answers tonight. How are you doing this evening? How are you doing? Whatever part of the world you're in right now, I want a legitimate answer. How are you doing? I mean, even if you are feeling good, don't give me the generic, oh, I'm fine, everything's good. If you're good, okay, cool, that's cool. If you got something going on, say so. If it's not all that great, say so. How are you legitimately doing tonight? I would love to know. Because like I said, we are a community. Whether we're all friends or not, that's still to be, it's been proven that we're not. But we still try to have some respect and try to get it in. So let's see what we have joining us tonight. And hopefully you guys will be putting that answer in the chat and we'll see what you guys got going on. I see a grand already. Professor Trio, what's the motherfucking deal? I see Wonderful. Okay, Wonderful like the pistachio brand. I ain't even shout out Rashida. That nonsense she been on. Rashida, what's the motherfucking deal? Kate Grace, Jess Sarah, and Tulio, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Infinity Pimp, Solis, what's the motherfucking deal? Shelly Long, Jess Sarah, Miss Bell, Kayshawn, what's the motherfucking deal? Trixie McFly, what's the motherfucking deal? 335 in the building, what's the motherfucking deal? Misty, it's me. Brenda Williams, what's the motherfucking deal? Let us see. Culture, what's the motherfucking deal? Infinity Pimp, I don't know if I shouted that once or twice already. And Miss Grace, even if I said it once, I said it twice. I love Miss Grace. Ronald Isley, I'm always coming here demanding success. You was finally on time this time. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Only one lie in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. I know I saw Dita Gam in the building. Empress Yaya, what's the motherfucking deal? Young Poppy, what's the motherfucking deal? Is that like Big Poppy but Young Poppy? I don't know. Dakota in the building, what's the motherfucking deal? I don't know if I gave Sweet Bear a shout out or not. If I did, then I'll take it back. If I didn't, well, I guess. Oh, she's giving you all a pistachio? Oh. I'll tap into the account and I'll adjust that for you. Let's see. Jimmy T, what's the motherfucking deal? And well, Shannon's here. Miss Cartier, what's the motherfucking deal? How are you this evening? Oh, you got two up. Give me one of them shout outs back in
Dollar bills, y'all.
Rising Phoenix. That's terrible. Rising Phoenix, I think we all did. That's how I feel when it comes to Bill. Russell Flowers, what's the motherfucking deal? Appreciate the love. Thunderbolt, 99.99. The rapper guy, I'm not even gonna get on that really. I've heard of him. I don't think I've heard any of his music, but so I'm not even gonna act like I did. Ed Honcho HTX on the gram, Ed Honcho HTX on the Twitters, Den Show Live on the Facebook page, and then you can also go to the Facebook group and become a part of that. We chop it up throughout the day. We share stories. This is crazy. It's like supposed to be a scary girl, but it feels like a rocker, some 80s rocker shit going on, fucking metal hairband or some shit. And so
Russ donated $5. Keep up the good work.
Oh man, I appreciate the love. Shout out to Russ. The word showed up, but I don't know if make sure it don't. And so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And so my deal is this. Tonight, Sunday night confessions, and then we usually kind of have a secondary. So that's what I'm wondering. Because like it talked, but it didn't pop up. So I wonder if I need to make sure all my links and everything are kosher. But it looks like everything else is copacetic. Let me remove some of these things too, because I deleted some stuff. Yeah, get that out of here. Did I delete this? Oh snap! I think I did. Okay, well, fuck that. I'll get that out of here. Call himself deleting a whole bunch of shit. I fucking deleted some shit unintentionally. It happens. But like I said, so what I want to talk about though, I think there is a common theme. If we're going to parlay, it's not about the rapper, but it's kind of like with the UPS guy, with the rapper guy, with things that happen. Life is sudden, and we talked about giving people their flowers while they're here, right? Instead of waiting until they're gone to think about all the times that you missed them or all that good stuff. So I'm assuming, and it's kind of Sunday, so it's kind of free for all, but that's kind of the theme that I think I'm gonna go with. The secondary theme for Sunday Night Confessions. And the reason I say this is we get caught up in life, man. We get caught up in the day to day. And even with some of these celebrities, we show these celebrities and things sometimes more attention and more love than our own family members. And, things happen. People grow apart. It's a part of life, right? But it's like, Morticia. I ain't gonna lie. Let me see. I got that family. Morticia could have got the business. I had to make sure I got the names right. And so, my thing is, and Jackie, and I know Jackie, and I know Kenneth was in here earlier. The whatchamacallit, the reset. So I know some people who were in here earlier. I didn't shout their names out, and Jason is. So, sometimes we get caught up in our own hype. Sometimes we get, caught up in our day to day. We get caught up in our own frustrations, and just how life has a way of dealing us hurdles and obstacles. And you just have to, like I say, sometimes you overcome them, sometimes you let them knock you down, whatever it may be. And then sometimes those hurdles are just blindsided incidents that you just didn't expect, that you didn't expect to happen. And I think it's important that I guess I don't want to say you as an individual, me as an individual, because we have the den folk and we all associate, but we have our individual lives, in the physical. And there are people that maybe we haven't been in contact with in quite some time. Maybe there are people that, that do mean something to us, and maybe not, that do mean something to us, and we haven't spoken to them in a while. They're going through the same things you are. Life is handing them, sometimes apples, sometimes the apples got worms in them, sometimes they're dealing with their own hurdles and obstacles and ups and downs. And just sometimes, and you can say, well, why can't they call me? Sometimes you got to be the more thoughtful person and just say, hey, you know what? I haven't talked to such and such in a while. What's it going to hurt to say hi? Or how you doing? Just to check up on them. Just sometimes, man, you have no idea what that means to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, exactly. I don't think people realize, and this is something I may have mentioned before, I don't think people realize how dangerous life is, on a day-to-day. But we've created these societal rules that we're supposed to follow to minimize incidents and stuff. But you don't realize how dangerous it is to get on the fucking freeway. Like, I don't think people realize that. Like, I think about some past activities that I used to be involved in, and I just think about how many people are under the influence of something on the freeway, whether it be alcohol, whether it be weed, whether it be pills, opioids, whatever you want to call them. It could be fucking over-the-counter shit, whether it be anxiety, nervous. There's a lot of people on the fucking freeway that are nervous. They're fucking on their wheel. They have a lot of anxiety and stress. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy. But you get, like you say, but you get so used to it that you start to forget. But in reality, we place ourselves in very dangerous situations on a daily basis. Cell phones are probably the worst of the worst. I remember. I had to go off on somebody for a situation. These motherfuckers literally tried to watch a movie while they were driving. I'm like, hey, let me go the fuck upside your head real quick, cause you're not finna play with my life with this nonsense. And I only got one of these motherfuckers for you. You can't wait, 20, 30 minutes to go watch this bullshit. So, you have to appreciate, how fragile life can be. But again, like I said, we get so caught up in the nonsense. We get so caught up in the bullshit daily. Who did what? Who said what? Who's fucking who? Who's gender fluid? Who don't even know what gender fluid means, and they're just saying stuff. Who is, all kind of weird shit. The president said this. The president did that. These people said this. They lied about like. But when in reality, all of that, may have an impact. It may be topics of discussion. It may be things to talk about. But ultimately, the things that matter are the people that we're closest to. And like I say, from time to time, it's good to just, even if it's 2 or 3 minutes, to call and say, howdy. You say you don't answer the phone, you're driving, and that's the way. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Netflix, people, but again, it's only going to get worse, especially as the youth who are more attached to these devices start, getting on the road, getting legal. With those who were born in the smartphone generation and things like that. So, it's going to get crazy because people are so attached to social media, to the gram, to the pictures, to the whatever. They feel like they're missing out on something every couple of minutes. And it's gonna be wild. But then I guess the plus side of it is you have the automated driving car. But this ain't all about the fucking freeway, right? You see off-ass incidents happen from time to time here and there. Like I said, the UPS man just at work minding his own business. But not just him. That's a one-off thing. But I mean, situations happen all the time, all over the place, where people get caught up. They get just put in random situations. I mean, that 70-year-old man had nothing to do with that. Sitting at the fucking stoplight, minding his fucking business, dead. You know what I'm saying? And so, appreciate every moment. Take gratitude for every moment. And I say all these things talking about others, but the most important thing when you take gratitude in each and every moment is to give a damn about yourself, man. To appreciate every moment that you're given. And try to capitalize, try to maximize it. I know a lot of the youth, they're down and sad about things. And I don't know why. Like I said, because I can't know each and every story. But when you realize you live in probably it's 50-50, probably the most technologically advanced time in history. But on the same time, you're probably I want to say psychologically corrupt, defunct. I don't know what you want to call it. Time. I mean, it's going downhill because people are confused. People are strange. But again, at the same time, they don't really matter because you don't have to really deal with those people. But don't let, especially you're young. I mean, it's the prime of your life. Don't let life get you down. There are definitely reasons you can find to be happy. And if you're scared, if you're afraid to get out of the comfort zone, man, trust me, there's nothing but things to gain on the other end. McVice, what's the motherfucking deal? So, if you just feel like you're cooped up, you feel like you're trapped, there's a couple of things that you got to do. And that's one, have some new adventures. Take some risks. Do the things that you've been wanting to do but been afraid to do. And I guarantee that will get you out of a funk one way or another, even just slightly. And if you continue to do those things, you'll see. Another thing is health, exercise, things like that. If you're in a funk, take care of yourself. And I'm sure there's hobbies and things that you can get into, but terrible. We need to get Bill O'Brien on the Sunday Night Confessions. But like I say, my whole thing is, man, I guess ultimately I'm saying all this is to tell you to appreciate life. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate what's going on with you. Your friends and family. Don't be afraid to tell people you love them. Don't be afraid to tell people, hey, I was just thinking about you, and that could make their day. And I'm sure you'll feel better too. And it's there's some science and shit behind it, but we're not gonna dive all the way into all that shit because I don't remember most of it. So. But my thing is this, man. I want to tell y'all I appreciate y'all. I want to tell y'all that I am thankful for each and every one of you. And I know I say this, I guess it's the holiday season or whatever you want to call it. But I don't want you to ever take that for granted that, I know where this thing started and I know where I hope that the potential has to go. But I just appreciate each and every one of you, especially those of you who show up on a regular, those of you who try to get here anytime you can. And just like I say, whether you're in the chat participating or you're calling in, whatever it may be, each and every one of you contributes something to this community. And as it grows, and like I said, I have plans and intentions for this month, 2020, as we move forward. I don't ever want you to think I take it for granted. I mean, that's ultimately what it is. Oh, Mister, you love the necklace. Don't lie to yourself. George Chit Chat, how you doing? Shelly, you came in here and I told everybody you were a terrible person, and so if you get to hating on us, we're gonna blame you. That's what it is. No, nothing happened. There's no negative, man. I really believe in appreciation and gratitude. I talk about time is a terrible thing to waste. And the fact, like I said, that you come in here, y'all kick it, y'all spend time in the den, and those of you, like I say, share your thoughts and all that stuff. And I don't know. Like I said, I said it recently. I said it the other day, but I just really want y'all to know I appreciate it. It is good to have that connection. So give me a bit. Yep, D Love. Yeah, you only got a little bit to go, man. Miss Thang, how you doing this evening? Lady Tia, how you doing this evening? And D Love, what, a couple more weeks, and it's a wrap for you. And you're gonna be out in them streets wilding out, man. Look, use protection. I don't give a fuck about that goddamn football game. Look, I told y'all, this is why the Den is. I said it in the sauce today too. This is why I love the Den so much, because the Den, it has the natural ups and downs, but that's because of the topic. So it may be a sadder topic. It may be something more informal. It may be something just getting here wild, and maybe just the interaction between the people that set it off. But the sauce is so heavily dependent on what the bullshit ass Texans do that it can be nerve wracking sometimes. It can be extremely frustrating sometimes, especially when they come out and they play the way they did today. So I'm not going to dive into it. Absolutely not. Some of you ladies came into the sauce today expressing your opinions, and some of y'all caught a little bit of a boot. I'm actually mad that I have this mug right now. Throw this fucking mug out the window. But the sauce didn't do it to you. It was all the Texans, so don't blame the sauce. We're just here to talk about it. But again, like I say, because people ask, why do I tend to spend more time in the den, or I go, longer in the den than I do in the sauce. It's because it's a different conversation. Give me a second, we change the thing, and then I'm gonna cut the line on, and then we will talk. Like, say whatever's on your mind today. Like I say, no real stickler on the topic tonight. If you just got something you want to get off your chest, again, this is Confession Sunday. I know some of y'all got some stuff. Here's the thing: some of y'all been lurking and lingering, and don't ever want to call in, but y'all got some skeletons in that closet. I would like, and I appreciate the regulars. I appreciate the regulars who call in and keep the show live and jumping. I would like, over the course of this evening, to see if we can get at least 2 new callers. I would like 3. 3 would be great. I would like to see if we get at least 2 new callers this evening to share a confession, who have never shared a confession. And don't worry, nobody's going to bite. Nobody's going to judge you for long. Just maybe for a little bit, but not for very long. So it's all good. So yes. But here's the funny thing, right? And John Matter, appreciate the love. Welcome. Here's the thing, right? Indoor skydiving, how was that? I saw a thing. I've seen some funny stuff with indoor skydiving. And I appreciate that, Miss Joy. And that's like I say, but it's to me, it's the people who make this such a great thing. Like I think the people are what makes the Den a beautiful thing, man. Because like I say, it's just being able to come from so many diverse backgrounds. It makes it exciting just to know different things. Like I said, I was thinking about last night's conversation, right? And like I say, how you had people, you have someone from UPS, you have someone, who's trained police to shoot. And again, like I say, it's not too many places where you're going to get that variety of people calling in, whether we agree, whether we disagree, or, however it may go. It's just
Professor
interesting.
Trill donated $3. Ma-Ann, fuck all y'all. Only flowers y'all MFS getting are the arrangements at your funerals. I hope all the bad things in the world happen to you and nobody else but you. Hashtag hate hate hate.
Well, goddamn, Professor Trill, you still mad about the game, man? It's over with. It's over with. Leave it be, man. You know, we gonna leave that in the past. We're not even gonna think about it anymore. But ultimately, let me get that. Ultimately, man, like I say, it's just it is. Y'all are cool. I look forward to chopping up with y'all. Whether Trill hates on y'all or not. Shelly, you think everything is a negative, everything is a bad, everything. You don't believe nothing, but don't ever be calling in and talking about nothing. Mm-hmm. Shelly, I'm telling y'all, Shelly is a contrarian. I like Miss Shelly every other day or so. But her whole mission is to come in here and disagree with everything everybody says. She she refuses to believe anybody is being real. And say, because what do I call the people in the chat talk about the way I talk? Like, oh, well, you know what? If they don't like it, forget them. I like it. I enjoy it. Make sure I hit that like button, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. So like I said, man. Okay, hold on a second. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Okay, Honcho. They have been after me about that pearl necklace ever since.
Pearl necklace.
You pulled that trick about that pearl necklace.
What trick? What are you talking? What trick did I pull? Whoa! I didn't pull any trick. I was just finding a way to inform you of something that I find interesting, and I was just curious if you may have known about it.
Well, okay, I did look it up and all that and figured out what all it was and everything like that and came to the conclusion that it was a very, interesting subject on that thing. But confession, I think maybe I did say that thing. The confession that could make it the pearl necklace has occurred around these parts of Alabama, with me. I don't mind confessing that. I'll let that be just as, how that can go. And the other confession that I want to make is stop tricking me.
What did I do? I didn't trick you. Again, like I say, it was just a gentle way to present a new idea, or maybe an idea that you were familiar with, to introduce it into the conversation. And so that's all it was. It was not a deliberate trick. I had no malice in my intent when we had that discussion.
Miss Grace did say that. Miss Grace said you was tricking me. And then everybody else said that I was really funny because I said that my mama had big pearl necklaces and I didn't like the big pearl necklaces, but I like the little ones. And I'm going on and on about pearl necklaces, and it's not even that.
Well, I mean, but again, that just shows that you're an innocent, sweet soul, that you don't wallow in some of these devious and what's the word I'm looking for? Devious and nasty thoughts and ideas that the rest of us dirty den folk may be familiar with. So hey, you're an angel. Stay golden and keep it that way. Don't let us corrupt you.
But you know what did corrupt me today though? Those darn Hershey cookies and cream little Kissies things. I had to go to CVS and pick up something. So I picked up a bag of them suckers. And you know how you're not supposed to mess with something until you pay for it, right? I ate every one of them little suckers before I left out of the store. And I have got to get to exercising and doing better because, I'm doing fine. My weight, everything's going fine. Everything's fine. But I ate, okay, then I come up there, and guess what? I paid for the damn empty bag.
At least you were honest and you paid for it. Some people probably threw the bag on the side or something.
Yeah, like, who is in there? Shelly. Shelly probably would have thrown it back on the shelf, wouldn't she?
Mm-hmm.
You think, maybe?
Yeah, Shelly's a terrible person.
Yeah, well, she probably would have thrown the bag up on the shelf. I don't know. I don't know if I can. See, the thing about it is, I don't know. It's split halfway within that den because I don't know if I can really. I'm gonna have to like build back up the trust and all this kind of stuff because you sprung this pearl necklace mess on me, and now I don't know what all else you might bring up and come up with. But I do want to tell you that I do want to say a serious thing though, and then I'll get off here because we got to get the new callers in. I appreciate the den because I joined it at a time. You know, I'm not going to say that. I guess they're saying, well, God, when she going to get off the topic of her mama being dead. You know how that folks in there are. But anyway, I'm not saying everybody because you know what I mean. But seriously, on a serious note, I came in there one night, you know, when I was feeling really down. I just happened to run across the song somehow or another. I found it on YouTube just I don't know. It just popped up there. So it was like God saying, hey, you need to go in there and see what's going on. Came in there, found out there was a bunch of crazy folks just as crazy as me. Okay, not everybody, because people get offended about that too. But, you know, I mean, I found out all different types of people, you know, and all different types of things and funny stuff and just, you know, serious stuff and all, you know, it makes you appreciate it because it takes your mind off of things. When you have, you know, maybe when you have your mind on something that's sad or just anything, it takes your mind off of stuff, you know, and you're like, oh, what time is it? It's like 9:15. You're like, okay, well, all right then. Well, then you're looking, it's like 9:30. Well, hell, when is it going to get to be 10? You know, so you're like, okay. Yeah, I'm saying, you know, on those nights when you have the time to really just sit and look. So I appreciate you. I appreciate the den. I appreciate all the den folks. Even Ashley, who told me not to say her name. She's going to give me hell now. Or, okay, I'll just call you Ronald Isley. Whatever you want me to call you. But I appreciate her debate. I mean, because all that stuff got my mind off of things, you know, when I was going through, you know, going through things. So I really appreciate, you know, all the people there. And I feel like there must be a reason why the people are coming there. I know it's all different reasons, but it's probably sometime to just, you know, let loose, let their hair down, whatever, you know that, Prepaid, they say I have a crush on him. I'm sure that he has long hair, so he comes in there and lets his hair down too, you know, just like you do and just like Professor Trail does and Dakota and everybody else, and just let their hair hang out, and that's the way it goes. Yeah.
I agree with that, man.
So if you don't have any questions for me or anything like that, I'm gonna try to. It's the season. I'm going to try to forgive you about the pearl necklace thing and try to move on forward from this.
I mean, hey, you know, you just have a euphemism, you know, for next time. You know, Mr. Misty wants to get down in the private area, and you say, hey, you know, I could use a new pearl necklace. Wow, that's a very nice way of saying a very frisky term. So I see nothing wrong with this.
Well, you know, you might be true, but I think the way that I was attacked in this way that I didn't know what it was. Now, just hear me out. I was attacked in this way that I didn't know what it was, so I was like, I was answering the question really, you know, legitimately and honestly. That no, I thought those big old pearls was like kind of like for the grandmas, and I truly do. Honestly, I have a small, like the small pearls like you wear to like weddings, and that's when I was telling you that I only wore it just a few times because you don't really wear pearl necklaces out everywhere. I mean, maybe some people do. I don't know. Maybe you wear pearl necklaces. I have no idea.
Not. Oh, no, it's not my bag, not my cup of tea.
Well, look, women, you said something about a woman doing some kind of thing, and you did something another, and they ran it all across the room, you know, squirted it all across the room, whatever that thing was you said. So maybe you ended up with a necklace. I don't know what happened. So I'm not gonna get all into that. I'm gonna let it go so we can go ahead and get the new ones on here. But I had to call you. Oh, and you can give. I don't understand. There's no pistachio brochure or nothing that you can hand out on how to work that system with the socks and the pants and the underwear and all that stuff these folks are putting up there. I don't know how to do it. So you can give Miss Grace my pistachios, but I don't know how to do the game thing. So, so we got to figure out, like, don't you have a pamphlet or a brochure or something to hand out to everybody on how to do the game, the us new ones?
No, but I'll take some time to do
$5 through Super Chat.
maybe a crash
Honcho
course
the
on
main
that.
Sancho shirtless. Shirts
Okay,
on sale
all right.
now.
Well, that'll work. Well, let's get
Starstruck,
these new folks in
romantic
here.
face,
We got to get some
smiley
confessions.
face,
I bet you
smiley
Miss Grace.
face,
Hey, after all
smiley
them new ones
face.
call in, we're gonna get Miss Grace. She's gonna call in and give you the biggest confession that she's ever had.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Miss Grace, are
Yes,
you hiding
yes.
something?
Yes, we'll look forward to it. All right, Mr. Honcho. And we got to hear your confession, too. You said you had one you were going to tell us, and you never did get to it.
Yeah, I think I forgot the other day. We got caught up with something. Then I think Monday we didn't really have
Yeah,
any
well,
confessions.
we need it on here tonight.
Okay. All right. If we get some good confessions in this evening, I'll share a confession or two.
Okay, all right then, sir.
All right.
We'll talk with you at a later point.
All right, Miss Misty, I appreciate you calling in.
All righty.
All right. Yeah, good evening. Quick crash course. For those of you who don't know how to play the game, it's super simple. Appreciate the love, just Sarah. Appreciate the love, Lady T. And Professor Trill. Even though you try to ruin our happiness. It's super simple, man. It works like this. There's a certain command, and the command is basically an exclamation point in front of a word, and so you use these commands, and to use them.
Lady T's T-shirts and designs donated $5 through Super Chat. Misty can't be this dizzy. She playing woman face palming.
And so there's a series of commands. And I think each command, some commands cost you some pistachios to play it, but generally you can earn more pistachios by playing it. And some of them are just random, funny stuff. So the commands are meal, which basically pops up and it says, it takes a random restaurant and says, you hustled somebody for so much of a meal. There's racist. Exclamation point racist, and it'll randomly choose someone in the chat and it'll give them a percentage of how racist they are. There is hater, and it'll say that there's so much hate between you and whatever person with a random percentage. There is hate, and how hate works is exclamation point hate, and then you put a space in the word and you put another word after that or a thing after that, and it'll tell you, how much you hate that particular thing. Love meter picks a random person out of the chat and figures out a percentage of how much love is between the two of you. Socks is a game. Socks is a game. Let me explain the socks game, right? Those of you who are kind of new, I haven't talked about this in quite some time. So we talked about being a player. Like, if you can't be a player if you make love with your socks off. Players don't make love. They don't take their socks off. Real players don't even take their shoes off. So the socks game, the sock check is basically if you got caught making love with your socks off, you're not a player. But if you got caught with your socks on, then the other person has to give you pistachios. So there's a pistachio exchange. So if you get caught with your socks on, it's all random. If you get caught with your socks on, you got to come off some pistachios for not keeping the player. If you get caught with your socks off, if you get caught with your socks on, then they owe you some pistachios, something like that. Anyway, then there's Cards Against Humanity, and Cards Against Humanity is I think that only the moderators can play the black card, and then everybody else can play the white card. And so Cards Against Humanity is exclamation point CAH black. And so that starts for CAH is Cards Against Humanity, and then black or white is, I think y'all play the white cards. So CAH white is to play your card. So the responses are all random. And so what that means is when a moderator plays a black card, you type in CAH white and it'll give you a random response to respond to that black card. Let's see, what else? What other things are there? We talk about male, racist, socks. steal. I mean, if you just put steal, then you'll attempt to steal some pistachios from someone else. So you may gain some pistachios, but you may get caught stealing, and then so you may lose some pistachios. Yes, the Rumble takes a few people to play it, and then so it gets a group of people together, and then y'all have a battle royale, and whoever wins gets all the pistachios. There is challenge, and we know who is the queen of challenging. The exclamation point challenge will, and then you put the person's name after that, who you want to challenge, and they have to accept your challenge too for the challenge to work. And y'all go one-on-one in a fight, and whoever wins randomly, you get their pistachios, or they get the pot of pistachios. Also, there is give. Now, if you just want to give a certain amount of pistachios, you put exclamation point give. You put the person's name that you want to give on the screen, and then you put the amount of pistachios that you want to give them. And you can check your balance by putting exclamation point pistachios, and it'll show your whole balance. It'll show you how many hours that you are recorded in the den and all that good stuff. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey man, it's Solis.
What's up, Solis? What's on your mind, man?
So much, man. Confession night. So I'm gonna just pop up with something that just happened. Just today, basically. Yesterday, my girl had basically came out and told me that she was bi, right? I already kind of knew that she liked females, but she never she always said that I like people. I was, that she was like not pansexual, but she would like people for people. But, that's just to cover up, you like fucking girls,
Yeah.
She finally came out with me, hey, I like girls. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, I have no problem with it because I don't see the girl as a competitor to a dude to me because, two different, I think we're two different species. So, I mean, you like girls, that's your own thing. You can do that. I mean, that's cool. I mean, she was real surprised. I was cool with it. I mean, I don't have no, what's the word?
Anger,
arrogance, I guess.
Oh, no, okay. So, I got a quick question for you with that. So, if she would have told you that, she likes girls and she may have been messing around with another chick behind your back, how would you have felt about that?
So obviously then you would lie, so I would kind of be be hurt, why couldn't you just tell me, you just do the mature thing and talk? Okay. I mean, I was obviously hurt like any other dude, oh, you do this behind my back, but since it's not like that, she's open with me, I'm open to that because I'm just saying, we getting to the point where I'm trying to get a threesome, so, so it's a win-win for me. I mean, honestly, right now, she made a Tinder, and, she came up my boyfriend knows this is, knows this about me, I'm willing to be having fun with some females. So this girl had hit her up, she came over. She's probably getting turned out right now. I'm in the car chilling. Just went to McDonald's. Got a bun in the car. I'm probably about to go inside and smoke and just chill. But yeah, they're doing whatever inside the crib right now. I'm totally fine with that. I mean, again, it's a win-win for me.
Okay. So have you seen the chick?
Yeah. She's getting turned out right now by another girl, bro. I mean, that's on God.
Okay. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you with it, if y'all have an open, that's a good. Let me jot this down. So I mean, if y'all have an open understanding and y'all are cool with it, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. But now, did you actually discuss a situation with her where it's more of a team effort?
Or what do you mean by team effort? You like we having input on what they could do and stuff?
No, I mean not only her participate, you both of you participating with another female.
Oh yeah, man, that's baby steps still. I'm taking it one step at a time because my girlfriend she was nervous about this the whole day. She was stressing out over just having the girl come over, and so I'm just I take it baby steps, a step at a time. I mean. I want her to do it by herself to see how she likes it. So if she likes it, then we can work on the next step of introducing me into the mix or whatever. But I'm just cool, talking with the chick, fucking with the chick because, again, a girl can't compare to me. And that may not be speaking with every dude, because every dude's different, you know. Every dude's like, oh, what the fuck, you let your girl fuck another girl? Like, that's some weird shit. But I mean, again, I don't got no problem with it, because I don't see as a girl as a threat, you know. As like if it's another dude, obviously, because the dude's got a dick, you know. The girl don't got no dick. I mean, that's a whole different type of dick.
She's gonna pull that strap out, man. That all got levels and meters and fucking vibrations and shit. No, fucking with you. that's
shit, man. Ain't nothing but like rubber can't compete to what's real, you know. So that's how I think about it. I mean, all that toy stuff is cool, but at the same time, ain't nothing comparing to the real thing.
Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. I feel you, man. I mean, that's what's up, man. Like I say, if you with it and y'all cool and y'all are you know, y'all have had the conversation, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. If y'all both on the up and up with it, you know, I think you make it shake.
Yeah. And see, like, people like, oh, y'all better watch out for your girl. Like, she ain't gonna leave me. Like, she's already said, like, you're the love of my life, this. Like, I will never leave you. Like, she had basically told me that if I wasn't cool with this, she would never even try it. Because she's one of those females that's, like, extremely loyal. So it's one of those rare ones out there. It's hard to find, but it's one of those rare ones out there that's just loyal. But, I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm about to go inside right now and see what they're doing. I'm about to smoke, chill.
Okay.
I mean, either way, I'm going to get pussy tonight. That's how I think, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I got no problem.
So well, maybe next week or so, you know, we can find out the outcome and see how things are progressing, if anything has changed.
Oh man, I'll keep you updated, Honcho. I'll most definitely keep you updated.
Okay, that'll be interesting to find out. Well, that's what's up, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck on your new venture, and I hope you get to maximize the opportunities and possibilities. And shout out to you, man.
I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, shout out to Solis, man. Appreciate the call. Alrighty. All right, that's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, because there's a couple of things I wanted to discuss that I was thinking about next. Well, actually, the next two Talking Dirty After Darks, because the next one I already got an idea, but we're gonna discuss open relationships sometime before the end of the year in a Talking Dirty After Dark, and I already know how these responses are gonna be. I already know how they're gonna play out, but it'll be very interesting. I think the men are going to say one thing. I think the women are going to say another thing. We've kind of had this conversation, and women didn't want to believe what the men were saying, and so it was very interesting. Prepaid female pimp, what's the motherfucking deal? So I think it'll be very interesting to see how it all pans out. But we'll say that for a couple of weeks, because I think this weekend is going to be very interesting itself. Before the rest of the matter of fact, I got a whole fucking. I'm over here trying to guess the games and shit, and I got a whole fucking list of them right here. There's 8-ball. The 8-ball, you ask a yes or no question, and it will give you an answer. What you do is you put !8 8-ball, and then you put the question after that. And then after you put the question, it'll give you, you know, like I say, some type of random response to it. Let's see. What do we got? We already did Cards Against Humanity. The Explain used to. I don't know why Explain stopped working. It was something going on with that. Gift. If you put gift, it'll give a random person a random gift. It's so, you know, you have no choice. And just ! Gift. Liar. ! Liar. So if you type that in, it'll say somebody's a random person is a liar for whatever reason. Then you have the truth, which is the opposite of the liar. And it'll say somebody's true. You can check the uptime with ! Uptime. And if you want to check points, you can go ! Top 10 points, all one word, and ! Top 10 time, all one word, and it'll let you know who are the top 10 people in all both of those categories. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
What's good, Honcho? It's your boy Dakota.
Already. Dakota, what's on your mind this evening, man?
Man, I was just gonna call and chill. Well, I wasn't gonna call. I was just gonna chill, but I heard Solis call, man. I'm gonna tell you one thing, cause I've already told you about, you know, me and my wife's lifestyle and how we get down. And if y'all don't remember, me and my wife, we a bunch of freaks. My wife is into girls, and that's what we do. So But like the advice I would give to Solis is, bro, set ground rules. This shit will not work unless you set ground rules.
Mm.
Number two, never do it more than twice with the same girl.
Mm.
Third time, somebody will catch feelings.
Mm.
And number three, don't love none of these hoes but your woman.
Mm.
Let these females know that they just toys, like the dildo she'll grab, put that hoe back in the jar. That's what she is. That's what she's gonna stay.
Mm.
No, seriously, you gotta let them know out of the gate, because if you don't, shit will go sideways.
Mm. Okay.
So
I think that's
set the ground rules. Make it known that your girl is number one, and number two, don't let them hoes catch feelings. And that go for either one of, like, if she catch feelings for your girl or if she catch feelings for you, because I mean, and you gotta make sure you ain't catching feelings or your girl ain't catching feelings, because in this type of lifestyle, people do catch feelings, and it'd be the least person expected.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's I think that's the biggest thing that you gotta face. You know, something get to people sometimes confuse the physical with the feelings, and they get them combined because something feels good. They think that it is good, you know, and that may not be the case. So I definitely agree with you on that.
Oh, and another thing, never just jump into it. Always sit down and have a conversation about it first. Because if you don't, that first time, if it's better than what you expected, you gonna get addicted. She gonna get addicted, or the other girl would get addicted, because it's a new sensation, it's a new feeling. So you gotta talk about it before you engage in anything. But yeah.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to provide them with. Some ground rules, some, basic setup rules.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean that's what's up, man. That's why I say again. That's why the den comes in so handy. People with different experiences in different arenas, able to provide advice and share, thoughts of their own experience. So that's what's happening. So I definitely agree that set the ground rules, because I mean anything you do, you need to have some rules before you play the game. So you know when you're winning and you know when you're losing.
Yep, that's how it goes. But like I said, that's all I wanted to comment on. Unless if you got any questions for me, if not, I'm out.
Nah, I think that's all I got there, Mr. Dakota.
All right, y'all take it easy.
Already, I appreciate the call.
No problem.
Already. Now let's play advice right there. Set the ground rules before you get all in. I mean, look, I'm telling you, it don't matter what nobody say it here. Shelly go hate the long way. That's what that is. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Shannon, you don't know nothing about no relationships. There's people who doing some stuff. They may be happy. I think it's different strokes for different folks. Shit, you can't say those relationships never. Most regular relationships don't ever last. So I mean, what are you necessarily comparing it to? You know what I mean? Shit, regular relationships ain't lasting. So, shit, if you're going to have a regular ass relationship and spice it up before it go all the way down, shit, might as fucking well, I think it is what it is at that point. I think, you have, you spice it up. I guess you got to keep it lively. So, I mean, you damned if you don't, you damned if you do. You know what I'm saying? Shelly, I ain't listening to you. Shelly is the original side chick. But yeah. Let me make sure I got all the dilly dallies. I told y'all about challenge. Told y'all about the rumble. The boss battle thing. Heist. Do we ever do heist? I don't think anybody really does the heist, but the heist is a thing too. But I think I ran through the whole list. So yes, there are a lot of options to do different things, but like I said, you ain't got to do them all the same. So Um, the Rumble broke. Nah, it's just broke for you. Okay, but that's why you get tested before you fuck with people. The same STDs on regular people if you having one-on-one sex. So, like, I get the arguments, I get the ideas, but again, I don't think you're any safer, any more dangerous, engaging in this behavior than anything else. You know, unless you just absolutely, unless you already married, and even then, that don't mean nothing because, like I say, you see all the infidelity both ways. You know, it ain't just men, it's women. They with all the sexual liberation and stuff too, they just as foul. Or they you know, as being a certain person argued, you know, women are just better at hiding it. They'll go do it and then come right home and make you dinner, right? So obviously y'all are just as foul. And so, I mean, what does that mean? It's really about knowing who you're dealing with, whether it's one person or whether it's multiple people. You gotta figure it out. So I mean, none of it is in the day and age in which we live. Unless you like on a little fucking island somewhere, you know. Good luck. You feel me? Good luck, because everybody's in danger. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
What's good, Honcho? This prepaid.
Prepaid. What's on your mind this evening, Mr. Prepaid?
Well, obviously not none of this is spontaneous sex shit y'all be having.
Look, don't feel bad. I'm out to loop too. I'm living vicariously through the people in the den. You know.
Yeah, I ain't getting none of that shit. Threesomes, y'all ain't. You can do all the coaching you want to in my house. The answer is fuck no. Not happening. But it is good that y'all are enjoying it, and please have more and enjoy yourself for me. Let's see here. I want to say to you young cats who y'all dating and you know what I'm saying, you're experiencing, especially if you're on them dating apps. Fellas, don't hit nothing without a rubber.
No.
That don't belong. None of them apps belong to you. Don't be hitting that without no rubber. Ladies, don't let nobody fuck you without no rubber if y'all ain't together. Like when I say together, I mean if y'all are not married, engaged, or intend to be getting married, don't be fucking about out of rubber. Y'all too young to be dealing with shit like that. That's all I'm gonna tell you. If you ain't got no money, you need to be wearing rubber at all costs. You can't afford none of them problems that come along with taking that thing off. That's a fucking raw is for niggas got paper. If you ain't got none, wear rubber. Now, since I ain't got no confessions, because like I said, my sex life is we coordinate in my house. I can't just come home and drop my drawers and have my Johnson swinging and shit. Life ain't like that for me. Too many kids in here, so I coordinate my shit. You know what I'm saying? If I cook the food good, I might get some cutty that night. But you know, sometimes I don't be getting none. Nonetheless, for all y'all who are enjoying it, do wrap it up. Now, I do have a heads up for some people, because at one time I wasn't always married. When I was in college, I got me a threesome, and it was awesome, and I was excited, and I had never had one before, so I went to the gas station and bought me some of them dick pills. Best, worst night of my life. Let me tell you. Fellas, don't ever buy the gas station dick pills. The pack I bought had 6 pills in it. I asked the dude at the corner, bro, how this shit work? He said, why the Red Bull or Animal? My heart almost jumped out of my motherfucking chest and landed in my pocket. My dick was on hard for about 8 hours. Away, I mean, it was pretty much Destruction Avenue. The women, both of them girls told me they ain't fucking with me no more because my dick was so hard, pounding them out like it was straight ground and pound on some UFC type shit. It was terrible. It was terrible for them. I'm sweating profusely. It was rough. And then after like 4 to 5 hours, if your dick don't go down, you gotta go to the doctor and get the shot.
Yeah.
So as I'm riding around with my dick on rock hard, my dick is all out, because my dick still ain't went down after like 6 hours, right? Yeah. 6 to 8 hours. As I get to the hospital, I park my car. I'm like, this is the most embarrassing shit ever. I'm walking into the hospital, right? And as soon as I get like to the front counter, my shit went down. I sprinted. When I say I ran out of there, Honcho, I ran out of there. I was so embarrassed, dog. I ran out of there so fucking fast. Because of course I had Google, you know, I was like, I had like on the computer and Google and see, and they like, you gotta see this shot. They stick a needle on your dick, and I'm like, bro, I don't want no shot. It might fuck my shit up for the bruh. So that's my confession, fellas. Don't ever in your life buy them gas station dick pills. Please don't.
Man,
it ain't good for you, and the women damn sure don't like it neither.
That's tough, man. I had an experience with those. I may or may not share that, but that's it. I definitely agree. Stay away from them. They have no. Your well-being is not in those pills.
And the worst part about it was I didn't really. I was so excited I didn't really read the instructions on it. And then once I did this shit, I went and like read this shit. It had like ginseng, horny goat weed, ginkgo biloba, some shit. Basically, all this shit you taking and putting in your body, you can't bust a nut on none of this shit. And that defeats the purpose for me with sex. I'm not no porn star. I ain't trying to be fucking for no 4 hours. I'm more of a, you know, a 4 to like 16-minute guy. Between 4 to 16 minutes is usually, but I ain't trying to be in that thing at night. If you ain't my wife or my old lady or nothing. So this was a very bad idea for me. Now, listen, if you want them, because like Dakota just called, you know, he be getting threesomes in. If you want them freaky ass Mr. Marcus type niggas, go get you some of them pills. I am not. I am the opposite of Brian Pumper. I get in there, you gonna see the moon and stars in them first 2.5, 3 minutes. After that, I'm out. That's it. Take you a shower and go to sleep. We ain't doing it all night. We got shit to do tomorrow. I gotta go work tomorrow. So that's just me. Hopefully, I save somebody a trip to the hospital. Y'all be blessed, man.
I already prepaid. I appreciate the call, man.
All right, bro.
Oh man, whew, that's wild, man. Yeah, those devices are interesting to say the least. They will definitely get you. They'll get you in trouble if you don't have the right plans that evening. They'll definitely get you in trouble. Like I said, I think I told a story about that one time before. I may tell it again. We'll see. So, don't do the gas station dick pills. If you have, well, I'm glad you're still with us. Because I forgot what they were saying, something about those things that people were taking them, and then when they started having issues and shit, they started changing up the little formulas and shit like that to avoid getting in trouble. Like it's some real sketchy shit going on with those pills. And the same thing with like I think like a lot of the supplements in the supplement industry, not just, you know, the pills there. So they were talking about how they can avoid like lawsuits and certain things. So, you know, it's crazy stuff. The hell you in here talking about, Shannon? Shannon, you be talking about some crazy stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. You over here defending women on some goofy shit. What the hell is you talking about? Cause Shannon be talking about some crazy stuff. Come on, you don't even have to ask that question. I actually scroll back to see what it is, and that's not even a question to ask. That you obviously know the answer to that. That's probably one of the biggest deceptions that you can. But I've seen somebody, they were talking about 1 out of 3 kids doesn't belong to the father that they think they do. So what is that saying about the ladies out there in these streets? Interesting. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Oh, you got a humble Professor Trill.
you still under the impact of earlier's declaration, man?
No, I'm through with that.
Okay.
That is what it is. No, what I came to do is eat some crow. I owe Mr. Antulio Abrego an apology. I said some things yesterday that turned out not to be factual. It turns out that 50% of the landmass of the state of Florida is actually considered forests. I was like, half? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought that, you know, swamps and bayous and shit wasn't exactly forests. But they're considered forests too. So, it is what it is. You shut the fuck up, Pete. I ain't listening to your ass. You out there taking dick pills, nigga. You done lost all credibility. Fuck out of here.
That was a younger prepaid. You know, that was before he was prepaid.
I don't
you know,
give a shit.
That's when he
I
had
don't give a shit.
singular minutes. You know, he had the night minutes,
Nah,
the
fuck
rollover
that.
minutes.
Fuck that. It's all about hate tonight. I'm joining the cancel culture. Prepaid, your ass is canceled. Fuck out of here.
No, that's tough, man. That's tough, man.
Nah, prepaid, my nigga. I gotta give him a hard time.
Okay. Well, I can
So what the fuck, Honcho? What we doing? What is this?
You know, it's supposed to be confession night, but it's just kind of. I'm not gonna lie. You know, the Texans got me really. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. And I mean, this is not to really go in deep about the Texans and get on to all that stuff. Make sure y'all hit the like button, man. If you're in here, hit that like button, please. It's greatly appreciated. And for those of y'all who are new, we do this every night, 10 p.m. Central Time. We go at least 2 hours. I ain't fucking with y'all all night tonight. I'm trying to actually have a productive week this week, y'all. We went extended in all last week. But you know, sometimes, you know, again, like I told y'all after the Baltimore loss, the Texans just have me really thinking. What am I doing with soft sports? What is really going on here? You know, because I compare it to the dead, and you can sit here and say, well, you know, the numbers in the saucer, you know, you get 300, 400 people in there sometime, and that's cool. That's nifty. But even with, you know, 30, 40, 50 in the den, it's just such a better conversation, and there's no emotional roller coasters unless, you know, me and Miss Angela have an argument for a little while. There's no real emotional roller coasters. You know, you control the conversation, and I'm just sitting here like, I don't know, I'm not going to ban the sauce for anybody, but I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, I was extremely frustrated today, so I wasted a lot of time in between the sauce and the den, bullshitting. I did some cooking and playing Hitman just to distract myself and not think about it. So I'm not gonna lie, like I had some other things in mind, some talking. No, I'm just like, you know, I'm not even gonna get too serious tonight. Like I'm just gonna let it ride, and wherever the den goes this evening, you know, I'm just gonna let the den folk know I appreciate them, you know, for being so consistent. And if you got confessions, you got confessions. If it's something else you want to talk about, that's just kind of where we at tonight. There's no real super serious topic. And yeah, I told the people in the sauce the same thing. Like I told them, like I was just like, man, look, this is why I spend so much more time in the den. This is why the den streams are way longer, because there's not an outside factor that determines the mood of the stream or the mood of the energy and going into the stream and the lives of the conversation. So it just is what it is, man. So
and plus, you know, the topic here is more, you know, serious.
Yeah.
It ain't about no fucking football. You know, it's just a sport. It's a game.
Mm-hmm.
But this shit, you know, we talking about life. And, you know, yeah, it's way more important.
Yeah. And Ms. B. Moore, I made some chicken breasts in this little Instapot. So I was trying it out. I had got one the other day.
How long did them jumps take?
Like 20 minutes. I think if that long. You know what I'm saying? I think I put it on like, because I had a bunch of them. I had like 5 of them.
You must put it on low.
So, and I put on, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing, so I was trying to be cautious with the shit. So I ain't fuck them up. Because, you know, I got a recipe for chicken breast that's just amazing. But, so
Did you marinate them jumps?
No, I threw them hoes in there. I seasoned them up and I just threw them in there. Usually what I do with the chicken breast is I brine them for about 6 hours or so. And I got like a little special, seasoning that I put on them. And then I bake them a certain way. And then motherfuckers, when I talk about tender and juicy, like, I mean, it's this shit is, I was surprised myself the first time when I came across the recipe. The first time I tried it, I was like, wow. Because I thought them hoes was going to be, I just thought it was going to be something else. And when I ate them, like, wow, this is the best fucking chicken breast I've ever had in my life. But, like I said, I just wanted something to throw in the Instapot real quick because I want to try it. I've been sitting there a couple of days, so I was getting curious as to what I could do with it. But I ain't really planned it out too much. I just threw something in that bitch.
Okay, well, not bad. Mm-hmm. Huh. I ain't never brined the damn thing a day in my life. I don't know shit about it.
Man, I don't know if brining is the secret and the secret technique or what, but that shit, like I said, when I talk about juicy, man, like I'll try to pull up. I'll send you the recipe, and just if you get a chance to try it out. To me, like I said, when I first saw it, I was like, no, because
Facts prepaid.
I like my food well cooked. You know what I'm saying? Like not burnt, but I like
Yes.
it. I like it properly cooked. All that pink shit. It depends on, like, and I'm not talking about steaks and stuff, but some people like other things. Just I just want to
Hell
know.
no.
I'm just like, well, I need my shit cooked, man. So I was cautious on this recipe, but when I say that this shit was legitimate. And this shit just retained the juice. Like I'm talking, man. It's. I love my mama, but she ain't fucking with my chicken breast. She ain't look not a day in her life of all the food she cooks. Well, I'm not gonna say all the food, but of the chicken breast that she's cooked, I'm willing to go out on limb and say these chicken breasts are the best that I've ever had in my life. So
Hey, you gotta watch that. You gotta watch them compliment your mom and them be key, because them motherfuckers think they slick. My mama tried that bullshit. Because, of course I learned how to cook from her. So, I started cooking the dishes that she would cook, so she didn't have to. And she would be like, boy, your shit tastes better than mine. I'm like, what you mean? Because, I do a few things, make little subtle differences. What she was trying to do was compliment me so she wouldn't have to cook no more. Oh, no, hell no.
trying to finesse you, baby. Yeah.
Nigga, I shut it down. Completely. Like, Exactly, Danny B. Moore. Medium well. Fuck all that rare shit. Y'all motherfuckers is crazy. Hell no. That shit raw. I don't give a shit what nobody say. That shit is raw.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not the biggest fan. Like I've tried to. I mean, I'm telling you, I told y'all, that I did some work for this restaurant a while back, and so I went there.
That's not burnt prepaid. That's not burnt, bro.
Man, yeah.
It's cooked, nigga. What the fuck you mean? You eat uncooked meat, bro. You the first nigga to call here telling niggas to strap it up, and you like it raw. Fuck out of here.
Think that a bit, man. Look. And the people told me, like, when I went and I said I wanted the steak well done, when I say, like, like in the movies when the record player would scratch and everybody turn their head and look at you, like, it literally felt like that happened.
Yeah.
Everybody, you call yourself being from Texas and you want a well done steak? I'm like, look, y'all ain't finna just like, he's like, fuck it. He's like, here, I'm gonna give it to you on the house if you eat it, this particular way. And I tried the shit. I'm not gonna lie, the shit wasn't bad. The way it looks though that's just what bothers me more than anything else. Like it was good. It had a great flavor to it and everything. It was not bad, but the way it looks is concerning to me, and that's what turns me off from everything else, man.
Anything past medium is overcooked. Boy, stop. And well done is burnt, but that's what make it good. I like a little char on the steak sometimes. Good flavor. That is blood, man. See, motherfuckers try to say, oh, that's juice. Nigga, that's fucking blood. Where the fuck you think that shit come from? Y'all niggas crazy.
Like I say, that was the only time I ever dealt with that shit. Like I said, it wasn't bad, but I'm not going to change my preference.
No, sir, James. A juice does not equal flavor. Seasoning equal flavor, goddamn. See, that's that white people shit. That's why y'all motherfuckers can't cook for me, bro. Hell no. I like to see who in the back. Y'all be fucking up. Oh, just throw a little salt and pepper on the salt and pepper my ass. You know how much other shit we got? We got onion powder, garlic powder. We got fucking what's some other shit that I like to use? Red pepper, cayenne pepper. Come on, man. Put all that on there.
Hold on 1 second, Mr. Come on, don't hit me with the bullshit. I hate to do this shit. Hold on 1 second. It ain't gonna let me do the shenanigans. I don't know why it fucking does.
If you cook a steak correctly, you don't need seasoning. Boy, stop it. Stop it. No seasoning? Bruh.
It ain't gonna let me do the dilly dallying because it's got me wanting to have no log. That's why I don't know why this the ones I didn't see my settings on this bitch. This bitch always want me to log in every fucking 10-15 minutes. Motherfucker be on the phone, want me to fucking log back in and shit. I was gonna add add prepaid to the call, but since it's tripping, it ain't gonna do nothing but fucking all up. So I can't add you on this one prepaid, but I definitely would. This would be a very interesting discussion. So I have to catch you on the flip side. Yeah,
I
but
think salt, pepper go on as a bacon. That's funny. I do have that question. Could all the Caucasian people in here, can y'all explain to me why y'all don't like seasoning? Seriously.
that is interesting. That is interesting.
Oh, this nigga called me. Hold on.
That's tough.
So you would just go make it happen regardless, huh, nigga?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
okay.
I'm in here.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Ingenuity, man. Okay.
All right, so what you got to say, Mr. Freepay?
You uncultured swine. Let me put you on game. First and foremost, for all you country ass niggas, and when I mean country, I don't mean from the South, because a lot of y'all done travel but don't know shit. There is no blood inside of a steak. When a cow is slaughtered, when you slaughter a cow, all the meat is processed. You have to drain the blood from the cow in order to preserve the meat. You see coming out of
why
a
is it
rare
red?
steak, I'm going to tell you. That is a protein called hemoglobin.
Which is found in blood. Motherfucker, you can't fool me with that bullshit.
No.
What in the haberdasheries and hemoglobin is going on in here? Come on, man. I know my Tony Baker research.
I'm gonna tell you how hemoglobin works. The hemoglobin ain't even the same color as blood. It's actually a purple tint color.
Right.
When it hits the air,
when it hits oxygen, it turns red. Yes, I know that.
That's what turns it. Now, I'm not telling you to eat your steak rare. What I'm telling you is that is not blood. Now, let me explain something to black people who hadn't processed this. When we grew up, we ate our steaks in a skillet. Your mama probably put some gravy on top of it and she cooked it in a skillet.
Yes.
We ate it with rice. That's how y'all ate it?
Yes.
No, never.
Okay, that's how when I was growing up, that's how we ate it. But here's the thing. The older you get, when you start understanding different cuts of meat, you understand why mama cooked it the way she did. Mama was going to the store and buying packed steak. That you could probably the steak she was cooking probably cost about $10 to $12 for the whole pack. Yeah, so it's cheap. You take it, you grind it, you bang, you beat it out a little bit, cook it in the gravy. You know what I'm saying? It's well done, but it's flavorful because it's cooked in a gravy. It's cooked in a sauce. When you go to a restaurant and you pay $75 for a cut of meat, a fillet, a ribeye, strip steak, regardless of how whatever you cut it is, if you cook it well done, you have literally burnt this meat, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. First and foremost, black people, y'all stop going to restaurants and ordering filet mignon because what y'all don't know is a filet doesn't have any fat on it. If you're going to cook your steak medium well, you can burn it up anyway. It went from being a 7 ounce, a 10 ounce, a 8 to a fucking 4 ounce because you done burnt the mother and shriveled up like a little hockey puck. A steak is cooked. Once you order a steak on a grill, if it's cooked and it's medium rare, your steak is actually cooked. Now, black people have this thing saying that's raw, it's raw. That's not true. Actual raw meat would be considered a tartare. So certain restaurants start something called a steak tartare, which means it's raw. Blood is the hemoglobin has been processed. It's usually served with a cracker, and that's an appetizer. But your actual cut of meat, if you eat it past medium, you have literally burnt the steak because it changes the form of how the steak looks. If you order a 12-ounce strip steak and it comes out and you got 8 ounces, it's because you done burnt the motherfucker up. That's how steak works. That's the different cuts of it. Now, someone made a comment that if the steak is prepared correctly, you don't need seasoning. The answer is yes. The answer is no. What we mean by seasoning is you have to put seasoning on it as you're cooking it on the grill. Now, I do agree. A great steak does not require sauce or additional seasoning. Now, once again, if you're at the restaurant ordering that shit well done or medium well, you're going to need all the fucking steak sauce and salt and cayenne and whatever pepper you can get on it, dry motherfucker. You're eating shoe leather. So you don't need that licorice ass steak.
What you're doing, Mr. Prepaid, is you're being disrespectful. First of all, don't nobody give a damn about you and your cannibalistic steak-eating motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what you say. Hemoglobin, if that shit is inside some kind of muscle and tissue and that shit red, is blood to me, goddamn. fuck what you talking about. Second of all, yes, I want my shit cooked thoroughly, like it should be cooked. Yes, I want seasoning on my shit so I can actually taste something. I just don't want to taste just regular, just meat flavor. That's not enough. No.
Okay. Now let me
We
explain
have
something to you
evolved
also.
past that bullshit prepaid.
Okay. Now let me explain something to you also. Now, do you also understand the digestive problems of eating that steak medium well and well done?
No. What are the problems?
Okay. The enzymes in a steak and your stomach acid, it's like literally damn near impossible to break down if the steak is overcooked because of how thick it is. If you ever, okay, I'm going to say something. I hope I don't gross nobody out, but I'm going to say it anyway. Y'all adults, fuck it. Y'all talk about that shit all the time. You ever went to a steakhouse and ate and you order your steak medium well or well done on, like, let's say you go on a Saturday. You ever notice around like 2 Wednesday having some...
No, I don't have that problem.
Well, you may not have that problem. The majority of people hard with it. When you have steak, your steak is literally impossible to break it down. So it's releasing this terrible smelling gas. Like it literally smells like you ate like a month ago. And what it is because your stomach is having so many problems trying to break this shit down. Now, like I said, if you're going to eat it that way and that's how you like it, it is what it is at this point. But for those of you trying to avoid that shit, I wouldn't cook it past medium well. Also, like Honcho was saying, the main reason why so many black people eat steak medium well or well done because y'all literally don't know the difference. If you came to my house and I cooked it on the grill and I didn't tell you nothing, I guarantee you, Trill, you'd be like, this is the best steak I ever had in my life. And I guarantee that steak would not be cooked past medium. It would be juicy, it would be perfect, and you wouldn't have to do anything to it. You're going to just sit and eat it. You'd be like, bro, this shit is literally melting in my mouth. Because I know what the fuck I'm doing.
First of all, don't you ever invite me to your house to try some of your meat, nigga. Pause. Second of all, hell no. You better cook my shit to his medium well, goddamn.
Well, let me.
The first thing I do is cut into my shit to see exactly how much meat I got.
Well, let me tell you something. You come to my house and you insult me and my culinary skills with my fucking apron on, it's going to be me and you outside. Fuck, I'm whooping their ass until the police come. So they put me in the back of the car. You don't come to my house and expect...
If I come to your house, I'm coming strapped because I know you strapped, goddamn. So any problem is going to be a shootout in that motherfucker.
What good is your... Now, I want to know, what good is your gun, your single gun going to do to my 6?
Not much, but shit, at least, hey, if I don't get you, I might get to hold one of your kids hostage. Goddamn.
That might be, hey.
And then see if you gonna shoot through the UPS truck, motherfucker. I'm bringing it back.
Well, the fucked up part is you take one of them little fuckers by hostage, I might tell you to shoot. Go ahead and pull the trigger, motherfucker. Shit, I said one of...
I'm not even fucking with you the whole prepaid. I quit. I surrender.
Well, look,
nigga is stupid, bro.
Well, look, Honcho said 1 and 3. That it ain't really our kids. I gotta make sure this is mine first. Shit, it might not be mine.
Like
look, see, y'all talking about don't start a shootout over steak. Come on, niggas done started shootouts over worse shit, shoes and other nonsense, shoulder checks and all. Why not a shootout over steak preferences? You know, I think it would make a little bit more sense.
Hell yeah. He holding the Amazon drop. He got the Amazon delivery driver baby hostage. Think I care? Shoot the little motherfucker.
Fucked up.
The nigga smell like he been delivering packages all day. Shoot the nigga. I don't give a damn. Now, but real shit, Hunter. When you said that 1 and 3 shit, cause you know everybody like, oh my god, he looks just like you. I'm like, hey, hold on, wait a minute now. There's quite a few niggas look like me. Wait a fucking second.
Yeah, I saw that shit. I was like, man, you know. But it reminded me of a call. I remember being young, or probably maybe I might have been in college, might have been early. It's been a long time since I listened to 97.9. It might have been on the way to high school one day. And they had people calling in and they was talking about it. They were talking about being another man's kid. And when I say so many women called in, there was things on Mad Hatter Morning Show. So many women called. Yeah, well, my friend, probably talking about her ass, you know, she's been with this guy and that the daughter's not his and she's, you know, 17 and he has no idea, but he treats her like he can't tell. And there's just so many calls after calls after call. I'm like, wow, these bitches ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. If I find out these motherfuckers in this house ain't mine, what's that nigga name that was on wrestling? Was it Chris Benoit?
Yeah.
I want all y'all to Google who Chris Benoit is real quick, and that's what prepaid gonna turn into. True, I'm gonna let you have your phone call back. I think I'm finna go ahead and whoop some ass. I'm about to go ahead and whoop some ass. Something ain't right in this house.
I already prepaid.
I'll fuck with y'all.
That's funny, man. Oh man, that's wild, man. So that's
I'll
crazy.
come bail y'all prepaid, but you're gonna have to represent yourself in court, goddamn.
Man, that's great. Boy said Chris Benoit. What's Chris Benoit's move? The crippled crossface? Was that his shit? What was Chris Benoit's shit?
Shit, I don't remember.
I can't remember the cross.
I think I stopped watching when he became popular.
Okay. Yeah, but that's the thing. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, that's some wild stuff, man. That's definitely some wild shit though. But like I say, the steak I ate, and I mean being unbiased, it was really fucking good. It's just as I ate the steak, I looked at it and I'm just like, but I couldn't deny that it was excellent. It was very good. Like I tell y'all about my best friend, that's how he likes to cook his shit. I remember when he barks, he's throwing on the pit. Say, man, you're gonna put my shit on there a little bit longer, player. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's delicious. I'm sure it's great. I mean, it's excellent because he takes super pride in chefing and cooking and doing various stuff. He likes to do all kind of weird, exotic shit. But like I say, he's cold on the stove, he's cold on the pit. But and I'm sure it's great. I see everybody enjoying. I see everybody loving it. Just leave mine on there just a little bit longer, man. I'll appreciate you for it. So it's just it is what it is, but. It's a very interesting discussion. Steak confessions in the den this evening.
I got a gripe.
Oh, what you got?
I got a serious gripe. There's a restaurant in Port Arthur. And if y'all ever come down to Port Arthur, if you want some seafood, you can hit pretty much any seafood restaurant in PA and you good. But there's this one particular motherfucker that's down the street from my T. Jones crib. They make some damn good red beans and rice. It don't taste like normal red beans and rice. I don't know. They do something a little different, but it's real good. But by far in the worst side they have is macaroni and cheese.
How?
How do you fuck up macaroni and cheese, but can cook some good ass red beans and rice? How does that happen?
That's actually a bit confusing because I'm wondering.
Bruh,
I mean that's the basic.
It is the nastiest macaroni and cheese I've ever tried in my life.
I mean, do they use like government cheese? I mean, is it the cheese? Is it the noodles? I mean, what is? That's
Bro, I don't know what the fuck they do. It's like the flavor just like it just ain't right. I don't know what the hell they use. It just don't look and like it look okay, but it tastes worse than it look, and that's bad.
Yeah.
Like macaroni and cheese, just fucking shells and cheese sauce. Like what the fuck? I don't get that.
Yeah.
So how come people can't do simple things?
But see, if that's being aside, but you said everything else is pretty good, right?
Yeah, all the other shit is perfectly fine. Everything else is great. Great seafood. Terrible mac and cheese.
Yeah, maybe they focused on that, man. Maybe they just focused on, the main items. They just like, fuck it, you gonna take these sides. The rest of the shit good. You just gonna have to deal with these sides. Does anybody else complain? Have you had this conversation with anybody else? Do other people in the PA?
Everybody, the consensus is the same. Cause I've been sitting in there waiting on my food, and then I heard other people. They be like, "Oh, what size you want? Y'all got mac and cheese?" Other people like, nah, you don't want that mac and cheese. They be like other random motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't get the mac and cheese. Everybody be like, yeah, man, don't do that shit. You gonna be mad the motherfucker you get home. But yeah, it's a consensus. It really is.
That's tough, man. So I'm wondering, like I said, maybe it's the cost-effective method of making it, and so maybe it's lacking in some things, I don't know what they
Bro,
got.
they
going.
do better just fucking buy the fucking Velveeta shells and cheese out the box and give me that shit. That shit is good.
That shit might be
I ain't
more,
tripping on that.
that shit might be more expensive than the way I just
I
accidentally
don't
seen
know what the fuck they doing.
that Charlo fight. You know, and so I think that I think that might be what it is, man. I think they might just be using a cost-effective method, and it's definitely you can taste it. So I don't know, because you would think if everybody's complaining and it's not selling, it's not really moving like that, then you would think that
You figure they take it off the menu.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, let's talk more about these false kids that these women's putting on men.
Okay.
How about some of you ladies in the chat confess to how many females you know pulling these same shenanigans?
Prepaid said it's heavy whipping cream. They use that to preserve the mac and cheese, so that's why it's tasting like that. Okay.
Heavy whipping cream. Okay.
Yeah, AB said his mac and cheese.
Unnecessary.
And
Okay.
how much mac and cheese you make for $45? Damn. That's
You can make a shit ton of mac and cheese for $45. God damn.
This is a mac and cheese buffet. The only option is mac and cheese, but hey, all you can eat. Shannon talking about she got Chris Benoit matches on view. Shannon, you are so damn random. I like Shannon, but Shannon is so random and just throw it off. I mean, just super random. Just shit you like. You kind of expect it because you get used to Shannon, so you expect her to be random, but you don't know how random she's gonna be when it comes to certain things. But yeah, how many of you ladies or have? Who's gonna be honest? Like, see, when it comes to ladies, we've talked about this multiple times. The ladies don't like to admit stuff because they feel like they guilty by association. If they give off the lady game, then they wrong. We're not judging y'all. We're not faulting y'all. But y'all know y'all got them friends. Y'all know y'all got them partners. Y'all know y'all have associations, co-workers, something, cousins, sisters maybe. At least one of y'all got an auntie that's foul as fuck. How many of y'all know a female that you have some type of relationship with that has put a false child on a man? Y'all know it's false. The man may not know that it's false, but y'all know that it ain't his because she was doing some shenanigans in that situation.
Or if any one of you have a son that a girl has tried to put a baby on him that wasn't his, and you being a mother knew that baby didn't look like your child. I'll be finding those stories very interesting.
Okay, I see a plenty. I see a yes.
Because normally the mama be on point. Gotta give it to him.
Yeah, mama's
Mama know. She be like, that's not us. That's not our family. Nope, you got the wrong one, sweetheart.
Female pimp, you probably didn't try to finesse a nigga. You call yourself out there pimping.
Female pimp can't be trusted. And Shannon is a liar. Talking about she's 28. Stop it, Shannon.
That's tough, man. See, every lady in here said they know a woman that has. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's crazy.
That's sad.
Super
That's
crazy.
sad.
And y'all wonder why men have trust issues nowadays. And it's not like, I'm not saying it's y'all, because if y'all haven't done it, then hey, we're not talking about you. But if every one of y'all know a woman, maybe some of y'all saying multiple, then how many of these dudes you think are encountering like that should be a red flag right there. If a woman's willing to put a false child, what other crazy shit is she willing to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if she's willing to go and put a kid on you that she knows is not yours, or even if it is questionable that it may not be yours, and not say anything about it, what other foul shit do you think that she's willing to do? And so that's why niggas are, that's why men have changed when it comes to dealing with women these days.
But it also is, I can semi-understand the reasoning behind some of it. Because some of it is the guy that they know is the father ain't going to help him. But this guy will and actually be something that the child can look up to.
But is that fair to that man?
But at the same time, no, it's not. It's really not. That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
It's not fair to him, though. So you're really being super selfish when you do that. But I could understand you're more so doing it for the benefit of the child. So I still can understand that aspect. But you still should be able to tell him the truth.
Yeah, I understand it. Yeah, I understand it, but yeah, he should have some type of knowing. Otherwise, you a foul motherfucker. There's no getting around that. I mean, you have to accept your foulness, whether it's for the benefit of the child or not. You're doing something foul that's very deceitful, and having somebody believe in something. I mean, a life changing, altering situation, and after a year or two, you trapped in it anyway. So.
And imagine how that child looked at you when they find out the truth too later on in life.
Mm-hmm.
You've been lying not only to him but to me all this time.
Correct.
Who the fuck is my father?
Correct. So, yeah, and that's the thing too. Nowadays, it's like after in certain states, if you've been paying for so long, whether you find out after I think it's after 2 years, if you've been paying, it's a wrap. And that's what I'm saying. Like that's the kind of foul shit that's going on. Like how is that even a thing? If I've been lied to and deceived under the guise of marriage or whatever it is that I believe that this is supposed to be mine, but see, what a lot of niggas soft and they'll say, well, maybe I want a DNA test because they have suspicion, but they won't do it because they're afraid of offending or disrespecting the woman. Man, I don't give a fuck. Look, we're going to get a DNA test. I'm not saying I don't trust you, but this is the world we live in. And if, it shouldn't be an issue for you. If you're good, you can put it in my face. You can brag and clown and talk all the shit you want if everything is all good. So you shouldn't have any worries about that. Like, I don't even see why you would get mad. I mean, it is what it is. So I have no shame in asking, hey.
Well, that's the main issue. What type of women are you sleeping with? Don't just stick it anywhere. Really, Bougie? I'm not gonna dignify that with a response. You and Miss Grace with that. Oh, y'all just out there sleeping with these bad women. Well, if more of these, if they mamas raised them to be better women, we wouldn't have to choose these hoes.
Right. But see, here's the thing, though, right? It's funny now. It's the man's fault for sleeping with a bad woman. But when we talk about these bad women in different situations, it's all women ain't like that. It ain't this. It ain't. And see how y'all pick and choose what side y'all want to be on in the argument when it's convenient. Now it's always the man's fault. Man can't win, man. So if it's the man's fault for sleeping with a chick like that, and it'd be some stand-up chicks with jobs, careers, and everything else. They do foul shit too. They just keep, like I say, they keep it quiet. And then it's the man's fault for choosing that chick. It's the man's fault for being lied to. I can't validate that one. But then now, if you'd have said something, if the man went out and was sleeping with somebody else, and then she knocked on your door with a baby, would you be saying the same thing? No, he'd be a dog, he'd be foul, he'd be a piece of shit, he's trash, he disrespecting the relationship, all this other stuff. So, like I say, that double standard is the worst kind of standard. I can't get down with that one. That's tough, man. That's a tough perspective, ladies. Wow. Bad and bougie.
I don't hardly know any bad women. Well, that's easily explainable, Miss Grace. You don't hang out with a lot of younger women. Okay. I could almost guarantee that.
Hey Trill, I'm gonna call him. Let a couple more folks call. I see Miss B Moore and some other people saying they want to get some calls in, so we'll see what they have to say about this. And then before we shut it all down, we'll get back online and maybe we'll see what we've discovered.
All right.
All right, bet that. All right, let me reset it real quick because the line it did some kind of janky shit while I was trying to swap the call, and then we'll get it back in, and then now we should be back. You should give me one moment and get everything back in order. Hold on 1 second, and we should be all right. We should be good now. So if you want to call in and express your thoughts, hit that line one time. Close that. Keep that up. So, okay, ladies, let's talk about that. And again, I guess that's an interesting conversation. Let's talk about that. It's very interesting it got there. I guess we can thank Shannon for her shenanigans. But here's the thing, right? It's not just hood rats. It's not just hood rats bringing home the questionable babies. It's women who are married. It's women who have been in relationships. Like I say, when I was listening to that shit, every one of them called in was talking about married women who had been with their dude. Maybe you dipped off on a vacation. You had some kind of old side thing going on and whatever. Like I say, women are just as bad as men. Y'all will know better. And so that's why I don't put women on a pedestal. That's why I say I'm not with, like we talked about the other day, all women ain't queens. It is what it is. Y'all just as foul as we are. Everybody has foul moments. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hi, this is Danny B. Moore.
Hello, Miss B. Moore. How you doing this evening?
How are you guys this evening?
I'm good. Doing well.
I was about to fall asleep.
So so you know some ladies who have participated in some of these shenanigans?
I mean, who haven't? You know, let's be honest about it. I mean, we got some in our family. I have never been one of those women. I have 3 boys. I have one father for those 3 boys, and none of our DNA is in dispute, and they all came after marriage. So, you know, so it's my thing, and that's the end of my child rearing days. So I'm not having any other babies after that. But we all know women who, you put women in a situation, you know, let me just speak from my perspective, growing up in black urban, you know, cities where you have a lot of people on welfare, you got, you know, people economically challenged, unemployed, and different things, and how people are taught to the fundamentals of raising a family, you know, the family structure are broken. And it's kind of funny to me because I equate this to when you look at how everybody feels about Obama and Michelle, and they call all this black love. So that's the new phrase now for everybody. Black love. Everybody want to be in black love and stuff. But at the same time, it's like you motherfuckers love Michelle and Obama more than you love the hoes in your own house. More than you love the women that you're sleeping with, the children, the mother of your children. You love Michelle and them more than your own mama. And the way that you treat, the respect you have for them versus the respect that some of these guys have for the people in their own home, and, you know, let alone the community, the people in their own home and everything, it's no wonder you have these situations where these households are in such disarray. Not going to say it's not only just black women, but I'm speaking from my point of view as a black woman. And you have these situations where these women, you know, the more ghetto you are, you know, you're going to get you a top rapper. You know, if you just show them that you about that life, they're going to hold on to you, so they think. You know, until, you know, as we've been found out in these last coming days, and I hope this doesn't offend too many people, but, you know, until they find them a Latino or white woman. That's just what it is. And, you know, because people are taught that these expectations of what a woman is, you know, is she has to be European or exotic. So you got all of these other women trying to compete with that. So they come up with all kinds of schemes, and most of these schemes, it's not the black woman that's committing these schemes. It's these other women that are trying to hold on to that athlete, to that rapper, and things like that. They're the ones in these schemes with tricks with baby daddies and all that stuff. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have a Love and Hip Hop. You wouldn't have a Basketball Wives, Little Women, you know, the real side chicks of South Carolina or some shit. All that kind of dumb shows like that. You wouldn't have that stuff. No woman would dignify herself, you know, would lose her dignity and go on. No woman with self-respect would go on a show like that and display that for the world.
Right. And I agree. But do you think even with this, the way that this stuff is getting put out there, do you think that has an impact on the way other women are thinking about their situations, or how it impacts younger women who are coming up in the world? Do you think these shows, lead to a little bit of corruption or misguidance?
Yeah, it goes in, it goes, it's the whole thing. It goes through the gamut from hair to skin complexion to body shaming. You got a whole family of Kardashians that are entirely made of plastic, designed to attract black men.
But don't we have to blame OJ for that? I mean, we go all the way back. I mean, we just follow that time. Don't we got to blame OJ for
You ain't got no. It ain't no blame OJ. It's not OJ's fault. I mean, he a man, and men think, he thought with his head, and it ultimately, got him in a world of trouble. But he do have a beautiful family out of it. So I never say that people can't date outside their race. It's just the things that people do outside of their race, trying to get a come up for a bag. And that's the breakdown. When we talk about a topic like this, we have to talk about the breakdown of the African American family, the household. How many people have fathers? How many people even know who their fathers are, or find out who their fathers are late in life? Or find out who their fathers, or get to meet their fathers for the first time when they come out of prison, or mothers when they come out of prison, and different things like that. It's the breakdown of the family, because somewhere along the line, like I said, we lost value. Like I said, we love a Michelle and Obama, but we don't love our own family. We don't love our own people who brought us into this world. The kids you got. Everybody talk about how they don't want Uncle Sam, in their business and stuff. And, but then you turn around and say, the reason all this crime and stuff going on, like somebody in that Pensa, or in that whole shootout thing with the UPS people, somebody in that family will come up and try to make some leniency plea about how they didn't have something in their life growing up. Like, you didn't ask the government if you could, have them babies, so it's not anybody else's responsibility to raise them babies but you. And so it's a whole circle of things. So, as lighthearted as we are being about this conversation, and everything, it's some serious issues in the background of what the root cause is for why these things are going on. That's just my opinion. I have someone in my family, a close person in my family, and they have 8 kids, but they've had like 20 pregnancies, and they got 8 different baby daddies. But it's like at some point, but then when I say I'm pro-life, they look at me like, how can I not choose pro-choice over, how can I choose pro-life over pro-choice when I see a situation like that? You got 8 different baby daddies, but you done had 20 pregnancies. So when I look at stuff like that, and people, look at you, and then I'm wrong, I'm twisted because I feel a certain way about it. I'm not feminist enough. I'm not, sensitive enough. All that kind of dumb stuff. I ain't for the foolishness. I ain't walking around in D.C. with no vagina on my head or none of that shit. I ain't done it. I'm not voting for Hillary, Pelosi, and none of the other hoes up there. I'm not going to do it. It's not that important to me. And I'm military, all that stuff. Been there, done it all. And nobody can tell me nothing, including you, James. And I've been there, done it all, and I'm just not for the foolishness. So it's a whole host of issues behind it all in the background. Why these young women Yeah, you go in these houses, these hoes they got their hair, nails done, they got designer clothes, they at the club, red bottom shoes, and these hoes ain't got no food in their refrigerator. You open the refrigerator, it's dirty.
Yeah.
They ain't even got beds, they got mattresses.
Man.
They rich dudes, but they just came from Vegas.
Correct.
All kinds of stuff. So it's a mental problem that we got to change. We glorify. I always say this: stop idolizing people paid to entertain you.
Yes.
And that's from athletes and rappers and the whole shebang.
Correct.
Hollywood, the whole thing. Stop idolizing people paid to entertain you and focus on family.
I agree. And it was funny that you mentioned that because I was Bebe's kids came on the other day, and I was just thinking about it, man. Some things have not changed. And where was Bebe? Why we never saw Bebe? Where was Bebe? You know what I mean?
On making other rugrats.
Yeah, baby out there pregnant in the streets, wilding out, probably in the club, doing God knows what. But yeah, and I just looked at that, and like I say, that's from the early '90s, and you just kind of like, damn, some things haven't changed. You would have think that we see these lessons in the time and time again, but ain't nothing changed. It's only gotten worse. So it's wild, man. But and it's such a messed up situation because, like you say, Kenny, Baby let everybody else raise the kids, and we do it because you care about the children. But it's that enabling behavior, and it's almost like, man, it's a fucked up situation because those type of people are going to be those type of people no matter what. So even if they didn't have somebody to raise the kids, then they would just force the kids into a terrible situation. So people step in and try to do the best for the children because it is what it is. But I mean, I don't want to talk about sterilizing people. Ain't done nothing too wrong, but it's just like, man, come on. At certain points, you have to realize kids cost money, and I'm not making the right choice in life. I'm not doing the right things in life, so maybe I need to change some of my behaviors. But we put the pleasures in life first and foremost before responsibility or common sense or any of those things, and then you add more problems, more responsibilities, and then your situation just gets worse. And then we want to blame everybody else, but it's really your decision. It really comes down to you and the decisions that you make. So, it's wild, man. It's wild.
It's like when I first went in the military, and I was in Japan. The kind of confession of my part. I had got a family member, close family member, like I said, that was out there doing her thing and stuff, and I was the first one to break away, just get the hell up out of here. And everything, and go off and do my own life, because I realized at some point I have to separate myself from the nonsense. Sometimes you got to leave some people behind.
Correct.
To move forward in your own life. And it's not turning your back on your family. It's not saying you don't love people, but you have to save yourself.
Correct.
And, and you got to walk away. Sometimes you got to walk away from the streets before the streets swallow you whole.
Man.
And if you don't make that decision, people are always going to cling to you in that life. And if you grew up in that drug life and everything, I never took drugs, never smoked weed, or none of that kind of stuff. The most I ever did was a family-sized bottle of Robitussin, and I regretted that. For the next 2 days. And but when I first went into the military, like I said, this family member, my mother would call me up. I left Japan and I was down in San Diego, and now everybody want me to take these kids. First of all, I'm almost 20. I'm in San Diego, single, in the Marine Corps. I'm not taking no kids.
Correct.
What I'm going to do with them? Where I'm going to put them at? How I'm going to take care? Just because I'm in the military don't mean I automatically became a check. And, you know, and that's kind of what people, you know, saw in me. So it always became a conflict between me and other family members later on, and even now in our life, a point of distress that I left everybody and I didn't step up and I didn't take care of this person and I didn't take care. First of all, you got too many goddamn kids. I've been told you to, you know, get your teeth tied, and you just didn't freaking do it. I sat in one day on an abortion, and it was a late term abortion, and I was on leave. It's the last thing I want to freaking do. First of all, I didn't even want to come back home during these days, but I get back home for this particular time, and damn if they not pregnant again. And so I get there, and, you know, I got to be supportive. I got to do this. So I go, and we're at the hospital because it's late term, you know, abortion. And I was so shook because I don't have any kids. I didn't even know when I was going to have any kids. I wanted kids in my life. I didn't have my first kid till I was 30 years old and everything. But I'm young, don't have kids, and here this person is just dispelling kids left and right. And when I sat in that room after they gave birth to that baby, and I watched them put it, you know, that little pink bowl that you pee in when you go in the hospital and stuff, that little pan, that little dish pan they give you. I watched them put that baby in there and then just sit on the thing while they tended to the person and everything. And all I saw was it didn't have skin, but it was a baby. It was a person. And I'm sitting there, and it was alive. And once I got through all that kind of stuff, it just messed up my head so bad. I didn't speak to them for like a year. And it affects today because they look at me as turning my nose up, being bougie. And no, we came down the same path. And when we got to crossroads, we had decisions to make. And you can't be defined by where you came from. Correct. You have to be who you're going to be in spite of, not because of. And so I tell them, I made a different choice. Didn't make my choice wrong. It's just I made a different choice. And I don't think I'm better. I just think I'm smarter in the sense that I knew what was going to save me. Yeah. And you try to tell people that nowadays, you know, they got, like I said, they got so many come up, you know, if the stripper can meet with the president of the United States and have a conference, you know, if you got somebody who, you know, they talk about people with, I didn't get convicted of it, but you got shootings and murders and handgun violations, and you can sit there and hold the president's hand. Everybody got to come up. Yeah. So that's where these women learn to do what they do with these babies. All they got to do, you know, first of all, you can't make them do anything. All they got to do is say you're the dad. And you're stuck with it. And you got to try to serve them. I think that's kind of wrong. You know, I feel sorry for the guys in that situation. And I have 3 young men. And I hope that none of them are ever in that situation because I might have to strangle a hoe and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm protective of my boys and stuff. But I'm hoping I'm teaching them better. Correct. And that's the thing about other young men. If ain't nobody teaching them better, then they're going to keep engaging with these hoes. Always wonder, what the hell is an Instagram hoe? I mean, they talk about an Instagram model. What agency is modeling on Instagram?
Instagram itself.
Instagram model. No.
That's the home-based business.
It's like, you got a health plan for that? You know, if you got dental benefits, vision and stuff. I don't understand. What is an Instagram model? But everybody gotta have an Instagram model. That's what all these young girls doing nowadays. And look at them. You know, look at all these situations they got in Hollywood. All these people got babies by everybody. And you would think there's only 10 people in their circle because they done stuck with all 10 people in the circle.
Correct.
You know, and it's kind of crazy, but that goes back to value. What we have taught young women, the worth that they have. Bleach your skin, you know, you gotta do all these things. You gotta put a butt injection. I mean, God already gave you, especially if you're black, God already gave you the gift of having a booty. And now you gotta go make it 10 times bigger. You gotta go put. I say, if anything about me, you know, that ain't on me, it might be hair. That's it. But hair can come off. You can't just go take breast implants out. You just can't go replace a rib that you had moved so your waist smaller. You can't go and remove butt implant.
I just thought she got to get her butt amputated because she got the shit got too big. She was doing too much, got addicted to butt injections, and she had to get her shit amputated. Can you imagine getting your ass amputated?
Look at the show. She on what, like her 10th surgery to get her body fixed back to normal.
That's crazy.
She already have her 10th surgery. That's crazy. So it's the value that you got people like Chris Brown say he don't like dark skinned women. Everybody talking about this again, back to this black love stuff. Everybody want to be black power, except when it comes to the woman that they're sleeping with. And they need black power when they need support. And I say the same thing about Kyle Jackson. Don't care for him. You know, there's plenty of people in foster care out here in this goddamn city. Ain't nothing special about his goddamn case. You know, ain't nothing special about him being a foster kid. And he was never pro-black nothing until he needed something, until he needed support. I say until a man needs support or go to prison, then they all the way black need that black woman beside him. That's what it is. That's my opinion.
I mean, you know, I'm not spotting any lies behind it, so you know, and that's my thing, man. You know, and I get it, and that's why I say often that my views don't mirror that of society. I have my own preferences. I am a fan of the darkness. To me, it's a beautiful thing. I want you as natural. I don't even like that light and makeup because you take that shit off. Like I said, but again, like I said, to me, because you know, we encourage the fakery. Like I said, you know, the fake ass, the fake titties, the ribs. You know, be something that you're not. You know, make yourself look like this. Make yourself look like something. And to me, I would think that has to do something inside the soul of people, knowing that you have to put on this. It's not you that you're putting out there. It's a character. It's a something. And that's why I say to me, man, just be who you are. I love the imperfections and whatever comes with it, because I mean that's who you are. But in this society, like I said, to me it's a highlight reel society. We only want the best of the best. We don't want to see the imperfections. We don't want to see the flaws. We don't want to see, you know, the struggles on the way to coming up or whatever else it is. And we take the reality out of everything. And I think I think the youth are being much more corrupted and much more rapid paced than, say, you know, when we only had videos and stuff when I was coming up. Now, like I said, the internet, the phone is in your hand, so everywhere you go, as soon as you roll over in the bed, you wake up, you look, you know, you're looking at this stuff, you're getting bombarded with it 24/7. And I think that it's definitely corrupted folks, man. So what, Misty? This is all natural. This shit is years of growth, nappiness, and suffering, but I'm happy nappy, so you know you can't tell me nothing.
So that's so that's my my take on all that trail and listen all that, but I mean, hell, I don't know if there's anything you can do about it because they so far gone. It's you know, it's so much foolishness out there, and Nobody had no shame no more. They ain't got no shame, no pride. Like, you got the girl Bad Baby out there fighting, pull up to some guy's house and arguing with their mom and dad for them to come outside, fighting over NBA YoungBoy, and he out on TV with her leave his baby mother, and it got and got hella kids. I'm like, what the hell? No pride anymore. Self-respect is just gone, and you can't teach young girls things anymore. But they know it all. I'm glad I'm an old dog. I'm an old dog, and I got to, and I had enough, raw people around me growing up. It ain't just their generation, because, like I said, my generation had enough people growing up around me. Luckily for me, my brother wouldn't let me off the step. Like I said, he would totally beat my ass if I tried to come off the step and engage in anything. And like I said, when my sister came off them steps and started sleeping around, he would knock her upside the head when he caught up with her and stuff. But
Just Sarah donated $5 through Super Chat. I got 5 on IT. Romantic face. Celebratory hands in the air. Celebratory hands in the air. Smiley face. Smiley face. Smiley face.
And allowed me to move on to the military and move on to my second career, and and have a proud life that I can look back on, and my kids can respect and revere their mom and look up to me for it.
And that's what's happening. I think you're breaking that I wouldn't necessarily say the cycle, but just again, giving your kids that standard. And that's what I think a lot, especially in the black community, they don't have a standard, that or a lot of us don't have parents that can say, hey, this is what I accomplished, to give you that sense of pride, that sense of history. These are things that I've done in my life. Now I've set a standard for you. You can go and accomplish these things also. There's nothing holding you back. I think you got a lot of them who people, may have had failed ventures or didn't quite, make it or weren't successful, and they found every reason, excuse to blame that, and then they pass that mentality on to the children, and the children get to believe in that, and then it is up to the children to end up breaking that cycle. So I definitely commend you on that.
That's 100. That is the truth right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, all right, y'all. I'm gonna let somebody that held up the line enough.
It was a great call. So
it's always a pleasure.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, Miss Danny B. Moore. I thank you for calling in and sharing your story with us.
I want to hear from some of these other ladies.
We're gonna see if they're gonna call. If they're gonna be honest. If they're gonna hold it down.
They're gonna be honest. They can give it to you.
I don't know about some of them. All right, Ms. B. Moore. Thank you for calling.
Also, like to hear from Miss Gerald. Like,
Well, y'all have been called out. Look, y'all have been called out. She done put some names on it. What y'all gonna do?
Yes, sir. Missy, Shannon. We hear y'all. All right, y'all.
All right, Ms. D. Moore. I appreciate you calling.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good evening. All right, that's what we're gonna do. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's James, man. How you doing?
Doing good. Mr. James, can you do me a small favor? I got to take a quick pause. I'm going to put you on hold, and then we will resume your call immediately right after that. I know you've been waiting, so
sounds good, partner.
All right, give me just a moment. All right, I'm going to take a quick Honcho hiatus, y'all. I'm going to be right back in 2 shakes of a Scotty's tail, whatever he's getting into. Give me just a moment.
I am, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. So what's on your mind this evening, Mr. James?
Well, first of all, I don't know how I'm going to beat that steak gunfight argument. I mean, that was just out of control. I was in there just like, dude, I can't beat this. Oh, I'm out. So, but we, as things started progressing, we started talking about, different things in the culture and whatnot. And, when, like I called in last night, I told you my first team leader in the Army was in the Army because he had gotten popped with a whole bunch of drugs in the back of his car. So I'm an Irish dude. My family floated over here on their potato boats from Ireland way back in the day. And I'm olive skinned, but I'm about as white as they come. So when I got into the Army, I met my first team leader. I mean, anybody that's ever been in the military knows that if you hang around us when we're not around other people, it sounds racist as shit, but we all love each other. So we can talk shit to each other, but you can't talk shit to us.
No. Well, you'll feel right in the den then.
Yeah, it don't bother me none at all. So my first team leader was, I used to tell him I'm gonna call him Cecil because I don't want to put him on blast. And I'm like, hey Cecil, dude, you ain't even got to paint your face, dude. Just don't smile because it'll look like chiclets are hanging in the air, dog. So that was the kind of back and forth that we had in the team. So I'm invading Iraq now. I was 19 years old. I hadn't had any sex yet in my life. And I'm just messed up like a football bat, man. I was just I had no idea what I was getting into. So we go into doing the invasion of Iraq, and I get into my first gunfight ever, and it's all over, and I got a whole bunch of adrenaline, and I'm shaking, and Cecil comes up to me, he's like, Jimmy, man, you doing okay? I'm like, yeah, dog, I just feel like I should be doing something, but I don't know what. What am I supposed to do with all this energy? And he goes, we smoke, Jimmy. We smoke. And the cigarette that he handed me was a Newport. So the first cigarette I ever had was a Newport. Right? So, if as you start going around in the platoon, you're like, okay, well, you got two types of white dudes. You got the white dudes that'll smoke Marlboros, and then you got the white dudes that dip. Yeah. But all the black dudes in the platoon, they all smoke Newports.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I went to him one day, I'm like, hey, Cecil, man, how come you guys all smoke Newports, dog? And he's like, Jimmy, I'm going to learn you right now, okay? Newports have an upside-down Nike swoosh on them. That's why we all smoke them. I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now. So I get back. I get back from Iraq, still haven't had sex yet, and the whole time Cecil's like, Jimmy, we got to get you laid, man. You got too much energy. You're too hyper. You need to go fuck, and you'll stop being like this. So I go off to a training course we call PLDC, Primary Leadership Development Course. And in the infantry in the Army, it's all dudes. Yeah. So when I go to PLDC, it's males and females together. And one of the females that I was teamed up with was a young lady named Monique. I'll just call her that. Yes. And, when I was growing up, I never had really been attracted to black girls or Hispanic girls or nothing. It was always white girls because that was mostly what I was around. Mm-hmm. This was the first black girl. I was like, man, she's fucking pretty. Mm-hmm. And so we start hanging out, we start talking, and the next thing I know, we're dating. And that's the first girl I ever had sex with in my life. Oh, and that was like a whole new world. My whole world opened up. But now remember, we're both in the Army. Yes. So we have to, when you're in the Army, you have to, you can't, I can get my redneck on just like everybody else. Mm. But when you're talking to somebody that's in charge, you got to go put on this different voice inflection. You can't sound like you're, got your cars up on blocks out in your backyard. You got to act like you know what's up. And, same for her. She talked just like I did, right? And it's all good. We're hanging out. Everything's good to go. And then we started. I went out one night, and we were just going to go hang out with her friends from her unit because we were in a different unit. And it was mostly black folks, and I didn't give a shit about that. The Army's mixed up. Nobody cares. But I noticed immediately, she talks completely different when she was around her black friends. It got out of control. Monique, I can't even understand you. What did you just say? Could we just talk like normal? And so that was the first time that it was like, all right, what is going on here? Yeah. And so I ended up getting, I kind of opened my eyes to a lot of different stuff, which was great and terrible all at the same time. So now it became scandalous. I went off for a specific school. I was gone for about 4.5 months. And I came back, and we started having major, major problems. By this point, we had dated for a year and had just gotten married. I went off to training. I came back. Things are bad, and I don't know why, and I didn't understand it. So we ended up separating, and I was stationed in Hawaii at the time, and you had to be separated for a certain period of time, and then you could get divorced. So now we're legally separated. We do all the paperwork, and it's bad news bears. Well, I ran into her about 5 months later because the Army told me, hey, you can't have any contact with her, don't talk to her, don't text her, nothing. Okay. I ran into her during an event, and we sort of started talking again. And I was like, Monique, what the hell's going on here? What are we doing? What's going on here? So we end up having sex again, and everything seems good. And all of a sudden, for like 3 days, everything's fine. And then she just completely stopped talking to me. And the next time I saw her, she was coming to my unit with her chain of command, coming to my unit to tell me, hey, sign this paperwork and now you can be officially divorced. And I'm sitting here going, what are we doing? Well, fast forward and I had an inkling when I was hanging out with her, like, I think you're pregnant, but I don't think you're telling me. And I found out 3 months later, that's absolutely what happened. While I was gone to training, she hooked up with a dude from her unit and got pregnant. So now when we're talking about all of this, the interactions between males and females, women can definitely be very, very scandalous. But it was a really strange situation for me because I just had absolutely no idea what I was doing. First of all, I didn't even know black girls could be attracted to white dudes. I didn't even know that happened. It seemed like to me, in my 19-year-old mind, that it didn't really work that way, but it did. And you can say that maybe that was my immaturity or maybe that was my latent prejudice, whatever you want to say, dude. I was just a 19-year-old kid and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. That's how I put it. But there is definitely a cultural issue when you have a black dude and a white girl or vice versa that it is really, really hard to pin down because when you go hang out with, like, my family lives out in the swamps in Florida, and they're not racist, but, it's pretty much all white people. So when I brought a black girl home, they were like,
$2 through Super Chat.
that's
James,
cool, I guess.
when did
And, it was sort of like, oh, that's
face.
nice. Like,
Thoughtful
I don't really
face.
know what to say. And, that sort of pissed me off. And I'm like, hey, man, people are people.
Yeah.
Because in the Army, like I said, we're all mixed up, dude. Like, nobody gives a fuck. My good buddy, my team leader was black. I didn't give a shit. He's probably the reason I'm still alive today, because the dude had already been shot at before he joined the Army. So, yeah, that's not even a joke, dude. That's straight up truth. Another buddy of mine named Keith, he was from south side of Chicago, one of the greatest soldiers I had ever met in my life, and that dude wasn't snitching on nobody.
Yeah.
Nothing. All of the stuff we did in Iraq, dude would not snitch. Nothing. We had people come down and investigate us, and he was like, lawyer, motherfucker. Get away from me. And I was like, is that how we're supposed to do this? Because I ain't never dealt with the cops before. He's like, yeah, dude, you just tell them you want a lawyer, then you don't say shit. Like, oh, okay, now I learned. But, that was a really strange experience, and strange but good, because it really opened my eyes to, there's this, you got your buddies in your unit, but you see yourselves within the unit. You don't see the culture behind everybody's family, you don't see, like, hey, we had a kid in my unit, his name was literally Billy Hillbilly. That was his name. And he was as hillbilly as it gets too. It was so ironic. Had another buddy of mine from Louisiana who was killed in Iraq, a guy named Josh. We called him the Swamp Moose. He was out there in the swamps, and we got along just fine. And another buddy of mine, Will Gentry, and he's a black dude, and he grew up in Dallas. And I'm assuming it's bad there. I don't know. I've never been to Dallas except once. Some of the stories he told me was like, man, that sounds pretty fucked up, dude. I'm glad I lived out in the swamp, and the only thing I had to worry about was gators. So, but when you start to see this whole other world beyond the other side, first of all, it's really good to me because, you know, in America today, we're kind of all in our own little groups, you know, white folks stay with white folks, black folks stay with black folks, and Hispanic folks keep to themselves, and let's not even talk about the Asians because those motherfuckers are nuts. But
I like James.
it's the truth, dog. I mean, there's a reason why there's a meme about roof Koreans, dude. So, you know, that, but when you actually start to, like, especially in the military, when you start to interact with each other on a very personal level and you start understanding each other, you get a whole different mentality on things. And sometimes you start to see the positives and the negatives. And that was the biggest thing that, like, you know, the last caller talked about, like, the military really does give you a whole new perspective on everybody, good and bad. You see it all. And, you know, I kind of attribute that to, like I said, man, if you were to hang around the platoon when we were in Iraq, you would think that, like, everybody's either in the Aryan Brotherhood, Bloods, Crips, and I don't know what this dude from Jamaica's into, but he's into something. I have no idea. You know, we had these big ass vehicles called Strikers on my last deployment, big 20-ton armored vehicle, and my striker we had a dude named Toussaint. He was from Grenada, and he would joke about, like, man, we're gonna put spinners on this motherfucker, and we're gonna put a sound system in this bitch, and I'm like, hey, that sounds cool to me. I mean, except that, you know, everybody's gonna know it's us, and you know, they're trying to kill us. But it's such a, I absolutely loved that piece of the military where you get to see everybody at their best and their worst, and you can take them not as, well, that's a black person, or, you know, that's a hick, or, you know, whatever, but they're people. You know, so that's kind of what I was going towards that. Now, here's my question, because a lot of people ask me to do this. They're like, I got war stories, but some of them are funny, but they're dark as fuck. And it seemed like that last call, we kind of went down a dark hole. And I was hoping to try and pull us out of that motherfucker.
Okay, what's on your mind there?
So, well, all right. So, sorry, I'm doing the white guy thing. I got to dip in.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. So, war stories. So now, I mean, there was a pretty massive battle. Since this is confession night, I'm gonna do my confession.
Okay.
It was a big battle in a place called Solder City. If you ever saw the movie American Sniper, they kind of show it. They didn't do a very good job of it, but it was in there. It was the last big battle in Iraq, and we were, you know, it was probably about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Sun's going down. We're facing west. We're looking straight into the sun, and it's fucking going down in Solder City. I mean, like, rocket propelled grenades are snipping off the road going past you. We're slinging lead. You know, we're across a 2.5 lane road in a 3-story building, and they're in a 2-story building, and we're just trading fire. Yeah. And remember, we're on the east side looking west. They're on the west side looking east at us. And this motherfucker walks out into the middle of the street. Bad guy. And remember, it's fucking going down, dude. I mean, this ain't no joke of a gunfight. And this dude comes out. He's got a big old machine gun. He's got a big belt of ammunition that's going all the way to the ground. And this fucking bastard is facing south. So, remember, we're on the east side. That guy's on the west side. This motherfucker's standing in the street facing south. And he just starts unloading from the hip. Just... And we kind of all stopped. We were like, what the fuck is he shooting at? I thought we were the most.
James is going to tell us about the time he
AFK
a guy.
So we stopped.
He was adamant to be on the bottom.
And we're trying to figure out what is this
monkey.
guy shooting at, because he's not shooting at us, but
Smiley
he knows
face.
that we don't.
Smiley face.
Well, the Iraqi, the bad guys on the other side of the street, they stopped shooting too. And I know on the other side of the street, they were like, oh my God, Habib, why did you bring your retarded cousin, bro? Somebody kill him. So my squad leader comes up to us, and he kicks me right in the back of the helmet. He's like, what the fuck are you idiots doing? Fucking kill that guy. Yeah. And my buddy Derek Hanna, who probably in another life was a serial killer, goes, oh, I got him. Like he's about to come with his pants, dude. And fucking guns this dude down in the middle of the street. The dude falls in the street, dead as fuck. And it was like 15 seconds where it was like tumbleweed went by. And then we went back to killing each other again. So fast forward a couple of days later, battle is done. It's about 2 weeks later. Battle is done. All the higher-ups are coming around that we didn't see in the middle of the battle because those motherfuckers ain't going to be out there. It's dangerous. They're all coming around, and they're shaking our hands. Like, good job, men. You did a great thing out there, serving your country. And, yeah, whatever, dude. So we're all sitting there, and I don't even remember who said it, but I think it was my buddy Tommy. He goes, hey, you guys remember that guy? And that's all he said. And so we start cracking the fuck up and joking about how this dude just, gunned down in the middle of the street, just being dumb. And so we are just cracking up, rolling around on the ground in front of the general and the colonel, all these high-ranking people. And they are looking at us like we got a fucking cock growing out of our forehead. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you dudes? We got to get you guys out of here. Yeah. And that sounds really, it's better when I could do it in person because I can get animated and shit. It's kind of hard to do over the phone, but normally that one kills. Mm-hmm. But when we got done, and I got back from Iraq and I started thinking about it, here's the thing that a lot of people need to understand. When we start talking about things that are dark and things that are really tough, the thing that you got to understand about humans, not white people or black people or whatever the fuck have you. Humans. Mm. Humans are bad people. Mm. When you put us in a situation where things are going wrong, and it's your life and your friend's life or your family's life, you're going to do whatever it takes. Mm. If that means you got to kill people, you will do it. I have a lot of people, when I went to college after I got out, and I had a lot of kids come up to me and go, they would ask about the war, and I kind of felt like, hey, it's my responsibility to kind of tell the story because these motherfuckers only know what's on the news, and the news isn't right. They don't know what's up. So I would tell them a little bit. I didn't want to scare them, but I'd tell them a little bit. Every single one of them would say, I could never do that. I could never do that. And I go, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can, because I'm not anything special. I'm not anything different than you or any other motherfucker that's in this chat right now. When you're put into that situation, you can be just as bad as anybody else. I had 12-year-old kids shoot at me and my friends, and we shot them. And I did not feel bad about it. I felt bad that I didn't feel bad about it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why don't I feel bad about this? What is it about me that makes me this way? And then I just sort of realized, like, hey, man, this is who humans are at a very base level. We're animals. And if you put us in a very savage situation, we can be just as dangerous as a bear or a wolf. And so there it is. And I try to keep it light and dark at the same time. I'm trying here, bro. It's kind of hard. I'm like 5 beers in, and it's on the phone.
No, damn, Sarah. So, man, but that's kind of interesting. Like, so when did you kind of realize? Like, I know you said you came back or afterwards you thought about it. But like, when did you kind of was it in the heat of battle that you really started thinking? Was it completely afterwards? Because I agree with you. If it's a life or death situation, I think human nature is to survive. By any means necessary. So I definitely agree with you. If it comes to your life or mine, then I'm gonna do whatever it takes to survive. But like, when did you really come to this realization? Was it post, a couple of gunfights, or was it you kind of back home and you just thinking about things that happened? Like, when did you come to that conclusion?
I'll tell you. There was an Associated Press reporter that took a picture of me that got kind of famous for a little while during the battle, and I was sitting on the edge of a striker, sitting on the ramp, and I had my helmet off, and I was smoking a cigarette, and I was staring at the ground when this guy took a picture of me. Now, what the picture didn't say, and I didn't tell anybody, was I was praying. And I didn't pray very much. I grew up in a religious family, but, it was a hell of a lot easier to call for, helicopters and airplanes to come help me than it was to, get on my knees to God and pray for fire and brimstone. That shit just wasn't going to happen. So, but and here's what you got to understand about Iraq, and especially in Sadr City. We could not take any prisoners. We couldn't. Because you would shoot a guy, you would wound him, and we would go up and try to render aid like we're supposed to, and they would clack off a suicide vest, or they'd roll hand grenades at you, or what have you. So after about day 2, we weren't taking any more prisoners. If you decided to fight us, we were going to kill you. And so it doesn't take very long in that situation where, you're fighting somebody 5 feet away from you in a room, and you're wounding them, and they're wounded, and you've got, you and your homies are going up and, hey, we're going to blast, just blast this fool, because you're not taking any chances anymore. And I remember going, Lord, and this is what I was saying, I was like, Lord, I know that everything in society is telling me that what I'm doing is wrong, but I don't feel like it is. So I hope that when I get adjudicated one day, when I go up there and you're going to judge me, you will understand what it is that I'm going through, because I don't see any other way out of this. And that was the only time I really thought about it in the moment. But as I got home and I started to be able to sort of order my thoughts and read a lot more and understand other people's experiences and talk to other dudes who had been in it, and like I told you last night, I hadn't been in the most gunfights. I haven't been in the least amount of gunfights. I'm somewhere in the middle, dude. And you all kind of got to you kind of hear everybody else's experiences, and you joke about it. You sort of deflect it with humor, because that's really the only thing you have. I mean, let me to sort of paint the picture. I want you to take yourself 10,000 miles away from home. I'm going to put you in a desert. I'm going to put 60 pounds of body armor and weapons and everything else on you. I'm going to keep you away from women. I'm not going to give you much contact with your family. And the only thing that you can do is eat, sleep, work out, and fight. That's it. It doesn't take very long of that before you become something completely different. And you start to see yourself as I'm this other person now. I tell people all the time, when I think about the things that I did, it's not, I have memories of it like I saw it, but it was like somebody else was living that life. Somebody else was doing those things, because the guy that you're talking to right now, he didn't do them. This other guy did. This other person that is within me, this monster. So as I started to sort of, go deep on it and just sort of think about it, it took years before I was able to actually put it in a perspective to be able to, come onto your show and talk about it. Because, for a while I was like, dude, I must be crazy. I must be a monster, because everybody back in the States, if I told them these things, they would think I am a monster. I think I'm a monster, but I don't know what to do about it. And it wasn't until probably 5 or 6 years later that I realized, no, I'm just a human, and this is what humans do. And if you are, I can't stress enough how tight you are with your buddies while you're there. My feeling was always, I don't mind if I get shot. If I get shot, that's what happens. But I don't want to do something or fail to do something where my buddies get hurt, because I don't want to live with that. I would rather get killed myself. So one of the things that veterans deal with, we hear all the time, veterans are killing themselves at an exponential rate. This is my dumbass theory on it. When you are in the war, everything that you do is important. Tying your shoes is important, because if you don't tie your shoes and a gunfight happens out of nowhere, and they always happen out of nowhere, you can trip, fall, and not be able to be where you need to be, and somebody else is going to get hurt. Making sure you've got, batteries in your night vision, making sure that your weapon's clean, all of those things. And everybody is relying on you for survival, and you are relying on everybody else. And you know that, hey, like, Will Gentry from, Dallas, if I'm shot and bleeding out on the street, me and Gentry would have never been buddies in Dallas. We would have never met, and if we had, we would have been living on the exact wrong side of town. But I knew that if I was shot and bleeding out on the street, Gentry would come get me. And there was nothing in the world that was going to stop him from doing that. And if he was shot and bleeding out on the street, I would go get him, and there was nothing in the world that was going to stop me from doing that. And when you have that bond, and then you come home and it's gone, it is literally gone. You are 9 to 5 in it, going to a job, you're just trying to make money so you can give it to a bunch of people who want to take your money, just so that you can survive. Nothing feels important, and you feel alone. You feel alone. You feel like there's nobody that I can talk to about this stuff. I have nobody that I can rely on. If things go bad, it's just me. And that is a very, very hard place to be. And for people who the mental shock absorber is not there to try to not re-assimilate, because you can't. You're different now. You're different from everybody else you're going to meet for the rest of your life, except the people that were there with you and that did it. And there ain't that many dudes walking around this earth that can say that they fought in the war. There just aren't, if you put it in perspective. So your odds of running into another person with a similar background is very, very small. So you feel alone, and you feel isolated from the rest of society. Society sees you as different. You see you as different. The TV is filled with people going, oh, veterans have PTSD, and they can snap at a moment's notice, and you go, no, I don't think I would do that. But you hear it so often that you go, well, maybe that is true. And you start to believe the lie. And then when you start to believe the lie, it's very, very hard to get yourself out of it. And then for veterans, especially grunts, infantrymen, it's hard to reach out for help because you don't want to look weak. You don't want to look like the guy that couldn't take it. You don't want to look like the guy who's losing this fight because you don't see yourself as that guy. So I mean that's a dark road, and I realize that, but that's the mental anguish of a combat veteran. And listen, I don't want any sympathy at all. I'm not sitting here telling you that, man, my life is hard and this, that, and the other. Dude, I'm doing all right. But for a lot of guys, I was very different than most because I thought about it real hard. A lot of guys, they don't spend a lot of time trying to understand it. They're just trying to survive it. And that's where they go wrong.
Yeah. I want to say something, Mr. James, and what you just did is like the sole intent of the den, and that is to provide people who would never experience, and even just the words is still not the experience, but to give people a perspective that they don't have.
Just Sarah donated $5 through Super Chat. James, that was Heidi. She hijacked my DN chat. Eyes, rolling eyes face, smirking face. You can take Heidi anywhere. SMH, person face palming, rolling eyes face, unamused face, freaking Heidi and it's her birthday. Birthday cake, balloon, rolling eyes face, smirking face, person face palming.
Yeah, and they're mutual. I'm gonna have to try to figure out something with the super chat messages, but actually I know what I can do. But what you just did this evening, man. Like I say, is my intention behind the den, and like I said, to give people a perspective that, like in your situation, 99.99999% of people are never going to experience. Especially the way in which you described it, and just, man, like. I don't want to call it a beautiful thing, but you did a masterful job of describing the mentality of someone and what they go through, coming back from a situation like that. And it's like, again, if people think about it and they put themselves in other people's shoes for just a moment, I think you can go through and you can appreciate, what people have to do. I don't even want to say appreciate. I don't think that's the right word. Maybe you have a better understanding of what people go through, and man, I just want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you. Like I said, I know you're not looking for sympathy or anything like that, but I just appreciate you sharing that this evening. I don't ever think it's easy for anybody to share anything, no matter how it may be, especially to a group of strangers. But man, that was real deep. I don't really have the words like I'm.
Hey, it's I stumbled on to your YouTube channel last night because I was, I live in Florida and the Coral Gables thing happened near me, and I'm like, all right, I like what I'm seeing, I like what I'm hearing, I like this group of people, and I don't mind putting myself out there a little bit because it's not about me. You can judge me, I don't care, it's not about me. I want to try and give everybody a different perspective because that's what the Army did for me. When I went into the Army, I had my blinders on. I went to a school I went to both a private school, which was mostly white, and I went to a public school, which was mostly black. And my experience in public school was not good. There was racism on all sides. It was in North Carolina, and it was tough. And it's real easy to fall into that trap, real easy. But then you go into the service, and you like I said, you see people as people. You stop seeing the melanin in their skin, and you start seeing them for who they are. My buddy Keith Whitfield he was an awesome soldier. He was a great soldier because he, like I said, man, he'd been in gunfights before he ever joined the Army, and he understood the right mentality to have, which is like, hey, it's us versus them, and we have to take care of each other. And so I learned a lot from him. And I learned a lot from my ex-wife who, things didn't go the way I would have liked, but I got to see a whole different side of the people in the U.S. And, I don't mind, sharing it. Like I said, you want to judge me? And I don't mean you, I mean people. You want to judge me for what I did? Plenty of people have judged me for what I've done. And there's a lot of people that will say, well, you shouldn't have done this, or you should have done that, or, you should do it this way. And it's like, yeah, maybe, but that's not what I did. This is what I did, and this is who I am, and I'm okay with that. There's a lot of people in this world, not just veterans. There's people in this world who grew up in broken homes, or they were, sexually abused, or what have you, that have the exact same problems. And it's okay to be, there's two types of people in this world. There's victims, and there's people that use their victimhood, and it'd be real easy to do for me as a veteran because everybody's telling me I'm a victim. Use their victimhood to excuse their bad behavior. And then there's champions. There's people who are going to go, no, I'm not going to use this as an excuse. I'm going to move forward with my life, and I'm going to make me a better person. I'm going to have post-traumatic growth. And if I can help one person get there, man, that's a fucking win.
I like that post-traumatic growth. I gotta jot that down, man.
Just Sarah donated $2 through Super Chat. James, thank you for your service.
I got funny stories too, so it doesn't always have to be dark.
That's all good, man. We go all over the place here, and so, like I say, sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's funny, whatever it may be. Like I say, the culture. But I got a question for the den folk, and y'all know kind of how we do. The den, it can be, like I like to say, toxic sometimes. Usually we'll talk about good stuff, but when new people come in, they usually kind of get put to the ringer to see if they kind of can stick with the culture. If they, stick around, some people, I don't like what's going on here. And they jump out real quick. Cause like I say, we definitely go there. It's a lot of dark humor. So that kind of thing is welcome. But usually the initiation is sharing something, or people who get in and they just, I don't want to say leave a piece of themselves with the den or whatever it may be. But I want to know what y'all think. I want to know what y'all think, Denfo. Y'all let me know do y'all think that I think James is Denfo. Yeah, you shared a real deep story. Do you think you got to go through a little bit more initiation? I want to know how y'all feel, man. I want to know what y'all think about that. But I think it was beautiful, man. Like I say, I think just from the things you tell me, trust me, just I feel like you fit in, and I want to know what y'all think. But man,
I'm curious. I'm curious.
Okay.
I just I had when I talk on the phone, I pace. So I had to walk away from the chat and just kind of, let my thoughts go. Otherwise, I'd get distracted. So I'm just kind of looking at, okay, well, how did I do?
Oh man, here's the thing about the chat. It doesn't matter. some people, depending if you say it, depending on what you talk about, people gonna try to get on you no matter what you do. So that's just, if you're on the phone, you're gonna be a target. Some people are gonna be, hey, he's making good points. You're saying something. Some people are gonna give you shit no matter what. And it's like I say, I don't think anybody has bad intentions, but especially, people definitely like to fuck with you. If you're on the phone and reading shit, they gonna fuck with you.
Hey, I'm good with it, man.
So yeah, you definitely know.
I got thick skin, dog. Okay. I got thick skin, so I mean, you can hate on me all you want. I don't care. You're not going to change me. I am who I am, and that's just kind of how it is. And it's nice to I mean, even monetize your haters, monetize them, make money off of them. That's kind of how I look at it. Let them hate. I'm good with it. Okay. So and I can't take credit for that quote. I heard that from Ice-T. Ice-T was in the Army. And he was actually in my unit. What? So not when I was there. He was in my unit long before I got there. But he came around to Schofield Barracks and was hanging out and talking to us. And I don't remember what he was talking about, but he was like, hey, just monetize the haters. Monetize them. And that stuck with me, man. I almost got that tattooed on my arm because Ice-T was a real motherfucker.
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, he talked about, we have a training area in Hawaii called the Kahukus, and he was like, man, if you can survive the Kahukus, you can survive anything. And I was like, yeah, that's the truth, because that place is a fucking death trap. And it sucks. It's just like, I don't even want to describe it. It's just a terrible freaking place to train, because the Army's whole mentality on, hey, this place, like, where are we going to be stationed? Well, this place sucks. Let's live here. So... I mean, and that's just kind of how it goes. But I got to being out in Hawaii. I got to meet a lot of cool people because there's a lot of celebrities out there. The original call that I had in my mind was, after me and my ex-wife were separated, my buddy Wade, who was getting out of the Army, and he was like, hey, let's get a hotel room downtown. And we'll stay down there for 3 days, and we'll just party and drink and everything else. And my buddy Wade, to this day, is probably the prettiest motherfucker I've ever met in my life. And he talked like Matthew McConaughey, and he could get any chick that he wanted. He had that ability. So we're in this hotel, and it's got 5 rooms in it, and it's fucking awesome. He's like, hey Jimmy, I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna get some food from Jack in the Box, and I'll be right back. I'm like, all right, dude, go do you. This motherfucker came back with 3 girls from Jack in the Box.
Oh, man, real player.
And, dude, it wasn't even fair. So there was 3 girls. There was a blonde, there was a redhead, and there was a brunette. And the brunette was fat. And we end up hanging out with them. We're fucking with them. And then they're like, hey, we got to go back to our hotel room because we're just here visiting. It's like most people in Hawaii. They're not there to stay. And we're like, yeah, we're going to go link up with our other buddy at this club. If you want to meet up with us, great. If not, this is, whatever's whatever. So we're at this club, and it's nothing happening. And my buddy that we were going to the club for, he's off with some chick, so we're not having a good time. And Wade comes up to me. He's like, hey, Jimmy, man, the redhead really liked you, and the blonde is really into me, so let's go hang out with them. And I'm like, tight, let's do that. So we go back to the hotel room. We get a bunch of booze, throw it in my Army backpack. So I'm carrying this fucking cooler with pink lemonade and vodka that we made. Don't ask me why, but it was fucking Wade's idea, and I got stuck carrying the motherfucker. So we go over to the hotel room, and as we're walking in, there's this girl sitting on a fountain, like looking all sad and dejected. And we all noticed her, but we didn't say anything. Yeah. We go up to their hotel room. I go out onto the balcony with the redhead, whose name was Tara. Wade immediately goes with the blonde, and my buddy, what was his name? God, I can't remember. My other buddy, who will remain nameless, he jumps on the grenade for us, takes the fat girl, and like a champion. I got nothing but respect for this motherfucker. So I'm out on the 18th story of a high-rise hotel in Waikiki with this redhead, and things are happening. And we were out there for probably about 30 minutes, And then all of a sudden, the fat chick throws herself up against the glass window. She's got fucking no top on. And she opens the door and goes, "You guys got to leave right now." Well, I come in there. Fucking, my buddy's pulling his pants on. My Wade is coming out of the bathroom, face all shiny. And I'm like, and then I'm looking at the door to get out, and there's the tallest black dude I'd ever seen in real life. Like fucking Shaq is standing in the doorway. And a little white girl that I saw sitting on the fountain is standing behind her. And that's when it dawned on me that these girls might not be 18. And I was like, my whole life flashed before my eyes. I'm like, I'm going to jail. I'm a fucking pedophile. That's it. It's done. It's over. So, but what I didn't think about, because I was drunk, was like, this motherfucker ain't going to stop 3 Army dudes from getting anywhere that we want to go. So we fucking push this dude out of the way, and we take the fuck off, and we are literally 2 o'clock in the morning hauling ass through downtown Waikiki. I got a backpack on that's filled with fucking vodka and pink lemonade, and we are hauling ass. Turned out it was a traveling volleyball team.
Oh.
And two of the girls were 17, one of the girls was 18. And we had no idea. So, I mean, this was, 06, I think. It was 05, 06, something, somewhere. Yeah, it was 05, 2005. So, I ended up, man, so I find out later, because I had this girl's number, Tara. I ended up dating her for over a year. So she's still 17, and we're talking, and I'm like, you can't. She was literally the farmer's daughter from Eustis, Nebraska. Literally the farmer's daughter, dude. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know how this is going to work, but she's like, no, we can hang out, we can still talk, and I turn 18 in a month, and I'm like, oh, that's better. So I didn't feel as bad. So she tells me, hey, why don't you come out and visit me at Christmas time? I'm like, in the middle of Eustis, Nebraska, where you told me there's only one stoplight and it blinks. Where the fuck am I going to stay? So she's like, oh, you can stay with us. I was like, wait a minute, stop. You're going to have your parents put you and me together in your house, and they're going to be cool with it out in the middle of nowhere? I'm bringing my body armor, dude. I do not want to get fucking shot by some farmer. I mean, that was, and it turned out, again, things didn't go the way I planned. And, she ended up joining the Air Force and doing her own thing, and that was mostly on me. But, man, it was a wild time in Hawaii, man. That was a hell of a place to come back to. So you go off to Iraq and you fight in the war, and then you come back, and you don't go back to Fort Drum, New York, or Fort Benning, Georgia. No. You're coming back to Hawaii, bro. I mean, like, we got back from Hawaii on my last deployment, and me and my buddy Tommy, there's on post there on the Army base, there's a place called the Class 6. The Class 6 is like the ABC liquor store. And so we got back from Iraq. On the night that we got back, me and my buddy Tommy, we went down to the Class 6, got a shopping cart. Now, we've been in Iraq for 15 months, so we had a lot of fucking money that we didn't spend. So we just filled this fucking cart up with every kind of alcohol that you could imagine and pushed this motherfucker 12 blocks because we couldn't drive because none of our cars were there, pushed this motherfucker from the Class 6 all the way back to the company area and got fucking hammered that night. And, like, I don't even remember. They gave us a 3-day pass, which means we were basically on leave for 3 days. I don't remember that whole 3 days. I remember it in, like, pictures. So, like, I go on, I'm hanging out with my buddies, the wives pick us up, and I go off to my buddy's house, and we're getting drunk, and I pass the fuck out. I wake up, and I got two 40s duct taped to my hands. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Edward 40 hand.
Yeah, that's wild.
You ever heard of this?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay. So I had never heard of it to that point. I'm like, motherfucker, take these goddamn 40s off. They're like, nah, Jimmy, you got to drink them both. And I'm like, well, I'm Irish. Sooner's better. Fucking took them down like a champ. And my liver was like, nah, fuck you, dude. And I passed the fuck out again. I woke up again, and the two guys that were under me Seaver and Cortez. I wake up, I'm in the grass. It's another day. It was like I passed out in the afternoon the second time. It's now nighttime. I have no idea what's going on. But these two motherfuckers are rolling around like it's fucking UFC, and they're beating the fuck out of each other. And I'm like, okay. So I did some more drinking. I passed out again, wake up on the front lawn. It's daytime now, probably about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And my buddy Tommy is standing on a stepladder with a fucking can of WD-40 and a lighter going after a wasp nest. And I'm like, Tommy, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And he goes, we got to burn them out, Jimmy. We got to burn them out. And he damn near sets the house on fire. Passed out again. I woke up. I'm in my PTs. I'm ready to do exercise for the Army. I'm in my buddy's Durango, and we are sitting at a stoplight, and I can see clearly that my buddy Long's car is in front of us. The light is green, and nobody's moving. Yeah. So I get out of the vehicle. I'm like, Long, wake the fuck up, dude. The light is green. And I look over to my left, and there's a cop just sitting there looking at us. Just looking. He's like, I don't want any part of this. I know exactly what these dudes are. They just got back from Iraq. I don't even want to deal with the paperwork. Y'all motherfuckers just go the fuck on. So we get back on post, and we, stand in formation and doing what we're doing. And I looked at my buddy John, and I'm like, John, it's not that everybody's hungover. Everybody's still fucking drunk. He goes, Jimmy, shut the fuck up, dude. What's wrong with you? Well, yeah, that's probably a good idea. I probably ought to shut the fuck up. And I look up at my first sergeant, and the senior, enlisted guy in the company, and he's fucking wobbly, and he's a big dude. So if he's wobbly, it must have been some major drinking. And immediately was like, everybody's accounted for. Get the fuck out of here. Go home. Nobody wanted to stay. So that's what coming back from Iraq is like in Hawaii. It was a fucking shit show, dude.
I got a question for you, Mr. James. Mr. Guru asks, when were you in Solder City?
I was there in 2008. We got to Camp Taji in Christmas 2007, and so I was over at FOB War Eagle. We got there in January of 2008. And the battle kicked off right at the end of March, so we were there all through March and into April. And then when the fight was over, we went up to a place north of Baghdad. So Solder City is a suburb of Baghdad, off on the north. I want to say that it's the northeast side of the city. It's like a rectangle. And so we went north of Baghdad to a place called Hor al-Bash, and we were up there for a while. So I was in Solder City for the battle for probably from like March the 21st, I think, all the way until May, when it was completely done and we handed back off control to the Iraqi army. And then we started doing patrols on Route Pluto's, which is just outside of Solder City, probably in July of that year. And we did Pluto's patrols because we weren't allowed to go into Solder City after that. We did Pluto's patrols all the way up until I left Iraq in February of 2009. So I hope that answers the question.
Of course, Mr. Guru, yes, sir. Okay. Well, Mr. James, man, like I said, I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you sharing a lot with us this evening, man. And like I say, I'm glad that you found a community and you were able to dive right in. And I'll definitely be looking forward to hearing more from you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you letting me rant, dog. It was a fun time.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, sir.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
All right. Well, I told y'all I wasn't going to extend it in with y'all, and I still did it anyway. We're finna get ready to wind this down. Shout out to Mr. James. Very insightful. Ken, you was in, man. It was just, you just had some haters we had to deal with. It was a different deal. I thought Ken was cool on my first day. Like I said, because you went in and even shared some things. And that's why I even said that, Ken came in. He shared a lot of insight about himself and gave us a perspective on things that we didn't normally get to hear from. I ain't no mixer crew tonight, dog. No, sirree, Bob. But my deal was, like I said, I think it just took some folks some adjusting. I think people gonna test. People gonna push buttons and things like that. Because like I say, they had to get. But I thought Ken was all right because Ken came in. He spoke his mind. People was trying to give him shit. He was fighting back. DeMarcus was hating because DeMarcus is a certified hater. But outside of that, it's all love, man. And like I say, man, I love the perspectives that everybody brings, man. And that's
Just Sarah donated $2 through Super Chat. Good call, James. Sparkling heart.
And shout out to Just Sarah. See, this is why I can't read the chat, right? But when it pops up on the screen, there is no avoiding it. And so, that's definitely it's tough. Y'all are some wild people. I love it, man. I love it all. But we will be back at it tomorrow at 10. I need to look. I got to get back on track, so I got to get my ass up and actually go jog a little bit tomorrow. I'm telling you, it's time for me to tighten up. I haven't been fat for too long. It ain't really for the New Year's. I need to start living a new lifestyle. And if I'm gonna do the calendar, I got to make sure I look good for the calendar, right? You know what I'm saying? So we'll figure all that out. And that's what I think is super cool too is that we have a lot of I guess to call them sub factions or however you want to call it, and I'd have cut the thing off. Well, listen, I'll do something special for Miss Bell. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it all up. Give me a second. I will take a special. The bell will ring and the class will be out of session. Give me just a moment. But like I say, the military members, people in different various areas of the country, like I say, little sub facts that people have relatable stories, man, and. Oh, I'm telling y'all, when I see some of these text messages that y'all send in, because I don't have the notifications on my phone. I mean, I guess I could put them on, that would help. But when I log in and I see some of these text messages y'all seen, oh my God. Y'all, man, y'all be killing me. Let's make it shake. All right, you might have to hang up and call back, Miss Bell, because even when I cut off early, it wasn't showing as a call on hold. But I got you. Look, Shannon. But you already know, Shannon. If you try to steal his pistachios, Sweetberry gonna get you for those pistachios. She's gonna come out on top. She's gonna have more pistachios in her stash. But man, like I say, I rock with all y'all, man, and I appreciate you all for being here. You could be anywhere else in the world, but y'all are in the den this evening, and it's a great thing. But like I said, I think it's beautiful that again all these different connections that people have. Like I said, we just a little small channel, a little small community. I don't like to use the word channel. We're a small community here on YouTube. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's Belle. I might not have been the first, but I'm definitely the last tonight, and I'm okay with that.
All right. I say the best for last.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to hear everything because the kids were home and we were chit-chatting, so I was reading the chat on mute and a bunch of things, but
Just Sarah donated $5 through Super Chat. I want the shirtless coffee cup and the Honcho the main Sancho shirt. Before Christmas, damn it. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face.
Because we have some Jameses too.
If you prefer Jimmy or James, I think you said Jimmy was the Army name. So whichever name you prefer to be called in the den, let us know. We'll try to stick to that. Then eventually somebody's going to come up with a different random nickname for you, and that's just how it always that's how it always plays.
He might end up getting stuck with Jimmy because we have a James that's already former military too. Is it 3 tours or 3 times or something? Right now he's going to school. Anyway, I want to say that I am so proud of this first-time caller. He did fantastic. As far as confessions, other than just dealing with stupid sinus stuff, not much is going on. I am so glad that we've had so many good people joining over this last. I've only been in the den almost, it'll be a year come January. And I tell you, sometimes you don't know the tether or the string that people help one another by just being there and sometimes not doing anything but listening. You know, it's not always needing to fix somebody's problems, but just letting them know that they can be honest about who they are and let go so that they can get better too. And I can relate, and I'm not even just sure it was James that was talking, but somebody earlier had said something about being a survivor. And I've been in victim situations, and I don't see myself as a victim either. I see myself as a survivor, but I want to get to the level of living and not just surviving, which is a whole nother stepping stone. You can chronically be a survivor, but you're not always living. That's a whole different level, and sometimes that's the struggle. But being a survivor, you can get anywhere you need to be when you're in that position. So that's kind of all I got, and just missing you guys all this week, the days I haven't been able to be in.
I have a question for you, Miss Bill.
So that's pretty much it. How you doing? Are you starting this week off good? Are you going to be working? What's your next plan for this week on your get back into shape?
I got a little thing on my board. It's been on my board for a few weeks now. It just hasn't been getting used. I have like a whiteboard that I keep right here on the side. So I take notes, and I just have various things that I'm working on. And I have a daily plan of body weight stuff that I want to do, because I told myself before I get back in the gym, like the actual lifting weights, lifting iron, that I want to be down to a certain size. Like I want to build up my endurance, then get in the gym, do some things. I got like some set goals, and I haven't been living up to any of them. And like I say, as we're end of the year, I got to get some momentum going. But I got a question for you, Miss Bell. How do you prefer your steak?
Medium rare. Well, rare to medium rare. On a really good day, flip done. But never well done. You're killing a cow twice if it's not even a little bit red.
Killing a cow twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my husband would eat it so cooked that you'd think that it was just turned into hamburger. But yeah, that's just, it does a disservice to the meat. So, sidebar, do you have what they call an accountability plan for your goal?
Looking down at this little gut I got and being ashamed of it. That's all I got.
Well, hey, everybody carries a little shame with the gut going on. I'm not any exception to that rule. But one of the things that I found that helps me make goal for whatever it is to have what I call an accountability statement for that week. And that particular goal or that particular thing I'm accountable, I work like probably twice as hard on, so that the next step is going to be the next step up. And that's just something that I've been doing for a while. Somebody can use it, somebody can leave it. You know, there's an old saying, take what you need and leave the rest.
Yes.
And I actually really love that comment. But that's what I love about the accountability goal for the week. I mean, hell, sometimes it's just doing a full grocery shopping rather than just picking up a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk. It's picking up everything else all at once. Or doing all your meal preps or whatever. So, all right. I know you said you want to scoot out of there, so I won't keep you too long, and just kind of saying my highs to everybody. And I'm so glad to have all you guys. It really does make a difference.
Well, we're glad to have you, Miss Bell. And like I said, I know you said the sinus and things have been bothering you a little bit, so hopefully, that calms down so you can get back to enjoying and enjoying this full time.
Yeah, I'm just really surprised that it's gone this far into the winter. This is pretty unusual. But the weather's been kind of whack this year, too.
Oh, well, we're down in Texas, you don't know what kind of weather you get. You go outside, it's warm 1 minute, you come out 30 minutes later, it's cold. 30 minutes after that, it's raining, and then it's back to where it was. I mean, it's you get the whole cycle in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So you'll never know what's going on out here.
They used to say New England is like, wait a minute and the weather will change and you'll go from one extreme to the other. But it seems like no matter what part of the country you're in lately, all the weather seems to be a bit extreme. So, okay, I'm good for the night, and this is my Sunday call-in. So hopefully everybody has an awesome week. And I'm not always Miss Mary Sunshine, but I'm working it. So get over it.
All right. Well, Miss Bell, this time the bell has rung, and I guess we can say the class is dismissed. Usually class is in session, but class is dismissed today. And Miss Bell, it's good to hear from you, and I thank you for calling in this evening.
Thank you. Good night.
All right. Good evening. Shout out to Miss Bell. So that's Sweet Berry. Look, man, you look hating on the man, checking the pistachio. Let them people check their pistachios while you hating. Shannon, we'll have to go back to some cucumber conversations around that time. Start figuring out when you became a part of the den. Like I said, I think there's a few main waves of when people came in. You had the Jesse wave. You had the Malia Davis wave. And then I think other people kind of come in here and there. And then prior to that, it was just people, generally came in from soft sports and things like that. But I appreciate all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jesse Wave. The Jesse Wave was intense. I think the Jesse Wave might have been the big. Look, the Jesse Wave brought that was the first time the den just started kind of seeing some significant growth. Then the den was still, I want to say, still primarily male, because it used to be the den when it was really small. It's still relatively small. Was male and Hispanic. The Jesse Wave brought in a lot of variety, but I think it was still primarily male. The Malia Davis wave brought in more females, more black females, I think, more than anything. They brought in females, but I think I think that's when I think the den shifted dynamics. So it was very, it's almost been a year since the whole Jesse thing, man. That's wild stuff. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got you, Miss Grace. Let me do that pistachio swap for you. I forgot all about it. Oh, okay. We'll just do it like this. We'll just make it a smooth transition. And then so that way they will be accounted for. Give me just a moment. We'll just do it like that. Alright, done dealing. Your account is now updated in the den. We got to do some stuff. We got to do some den awards. Like we were supposed to get back regular on that, but like I said, I guess jumping back into it unexpected. We're gonna get a bunch of things going. But here's the deal, y'all. I'm finna get ready to lay it down, so I can get up here in a couple of hours, about 4 or 5 hours here, and maybe go give me a nice little jog in. I ain't gonna go too hard. I'm going to start eating so much bullshit. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be here this evening. Again, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Central. If you're here early, make sure that's how you get your early bird pistachios and all of that good stuff. But I appreciate you had some good calls tonight, man. You had some good calls. And like I said, I appreciate y'all being here. But with that being said, chunk up the deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, y'all gotta get the fuck up out of here. Y'all ain't got to go home, but y'all got to get the fuck up out of here. Just lingering and loitering in the den, causing all kind of mayhem. I gotta vacuum the den up, clean up this shit, all that stuff, man. I'm gone. So you got your damn pistachios. Everybody got they early pistachios. Miss Bad and Bougie. I might make tomorrow night's topic around it so we can continue to talk. But I know I saw a missed call from you. So we may continue that thing about the different daddies conversation tomorrow. We might make that the whole evening's topic, so we'll get into that. But But shout out to all y'all, man. I'm going to bed. Good night.